Chapter 1866 has arrived. Chapter 1866 has arrived. Boom. The golden-colored lightning blade chi shot out explosively from the ground in a straight line. At the same time, the figure of the gold robe master also descended from the sky above the blade chi. A similar golden blade chi descended from the sky. 9 days and 10 places killing space. The 5th floor. Zhong Sanqian's face shook, his heart was overwhelmed with shock. The 5th stage killing interspace was extremely powerful. The ground and sky were filled with energy that could be controlled. Zhong Sanqian's respect for the gold robe master deepened. However, the middle-aged man being targeted by the gold robe master sneered, "Old man, it's useless." As soon as he finished, the killing intent of the top 10 of the 9 heavens was directed at that person. Destiny's shield, activate. Buzz. With a loud shout, a shield appeared around the young man's body. The wheel of fate spun left and right, completely blocking the power of the killing interspace's attack. The man disdainfully sneered, "What bullsh *T 9 days and 10 places killing space? In the presence of God. Old bastard. Do you know what this is? Shield of destiny, wheel of destiny. You want to kill me? Humph. You old thing, it's impossible in your next life." The middle-aged man shouted as the wheel of fate on his body began to spin rapidly, expanding its range. At the same time, the dozens of elders beside him flew out in unison. Fate wheel formation, they instantly surrounded Gold Robe Master. When he exerted his strength at the same time, the wheel of destiny on his body formed a strong pressure and smashed onto Gold Robe Master's body. Gold Robe Master was pushed back continuously as his chest cracked open and he could not help but spurt out a mouthful of blood. Phut! His face was extremely pale. Zhong Sanqian shouted, "Ancestor!" Just as he was about to rush forward to help the Gold Robe Master, the golden-robed man shouted out, "Don't come near me. Zhong Sanqian, if you think I'm a senior, then take the rest of the people and leave quickly. God Rare sect cannot be destroyed at our place. No way. Absolutely not." Gold Robe Master stood up with his golden blade, his eyes fierce. The God Rare sect could not be destroyed in his hands. Otherwise, even if he died, he would have let down the ancestors of the God Rare sect. The Gold Robe Master said slightly, "Zhong Sanqian, since you're betting everything on that brat Long Fei, then go to the Devil Temple, then bet everything on yourself. Do you understand?" Gold Robe Master shouted loudly. Zhong Sanqian said, "Ancestor, what about you?" Gold Robe Master smiled slightly and said, "Having lived for over 200 years, being able to die in battle for God Rare sect has always been my dream. To me, this is the best home. Let's go." Gold Robe Master roared out, he waved the golden blade in his hand, looked at the dozens of disciples who had the wheel of fate on them, and rushed out. "Bring it on." Gold Robe Master unleashed his strongest strength, causing the golden robe on his body to be torn apart, revealing muscles that looked like they were cast out of copper water. His muscles were full of scars as well. He looked up at the sky and murmured, "Please bless me, Lady Goddess." Shua. With one step, the golden blade slashed out. Buzz. One of the disciples' destiny shield was immediately shattered, but the Gold Robe Master was also shaken by the shock, as if he could not take it anymore. "Old thing, you dare to be arrogant even when you're about to die. Let's see how long you can continue showing off then. Kill them all." The disciple in the lead shouted as the fate roulette once again charged forward. It surrounded Gold Robe Master so tightly that not even a drop of water could leak out. Zhong Sanqian did not stay. He could not allow Gold Robe Master to make a futile sacrifice. He stepped into the great hall and said, "Who is willing to follow me? To the Devil Temple." Waiting for Long Fei to come out from closed-door cultivation, "Who wants to come with me?" Inside the hall, even the elders who were accompanying Gold Robe Master a while ago lowered their heads and did not say a word. Zhong Sanqian felt pain in his heart, and said, "Could it be that no one is willing? Could it be that all of you want to watch as the God Rare sect is destroyed?" Zhong Sanqian was heartbroken. If Gold Robe Master knew about this, how miserable would he be? An elder said, "Zhong Sanqian, you should be clearer than anyone else about the current situation. Gold Robe Master will die, he will be destroyed, and we will not be able to escape. So, Zhong Sanqian, we still have a choice. We surrender, we nominate you as the God Rare Sect's master, and accept surrender. Without waiting for him to finish, Zhong Sanqian cursed, bullshit. There is no surrender in the God Rare Sect's dictionary, you bunch of cowards. Yes. We are afraid of death, but who caused all of this? It's you. If you did not condone Long Fei, would Long Fei be able to attend the Devil Hills exchange? He could offend Nai Lin. He can offend the Destiny God. You can cause so much trouble. It's all because of you. A few elders glared at Zhong Sanqian hatefully. Everything was because of Long Fei. If they did not go to the tournament, even if the God Rare Sect was not the 10 sects, they would still be able to live a good life, and would not be like this. Zhong Sanqian laughed. Seeing their faces one by one, Zhong Sanqian laughed powerlessly. The leading elder walked forward and said, Zhong Sanqian, if you agree to surrender, you are still our God Rare sect leader. Zhong Sanqian said, and if I don't agree? As soon as he finished, all the elders in the hall stepped forward in unison, surrounding Zhong Sanqian. The elder then continued, we do not wish to accompany the two of you to your deaths. If you do not agree, then it will be better. Then go to hell. In that instant, the clan elder raised his sword and stabbed towards Zhong Sanqian. At this moment, the other elders in the palace also immediately took action, all rushing towards Zhong Sanqian. They didn't want to die. He didn't want to be buried with anyone else either. At the start, they still had Gold Robe Master to intimidate them. Now that there was only Zhong Sanqian, they did not put him in their eyes. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk whoosh whoosh whoosh, asterisk. Furthermore, Zhong Sanqian did not expect that so many elders would attack him so quickly. In just a moment, he had blocked a few attacks, but his body, more than 10 sword wounds. His chest was pierced. The abdomen was pierced. He was covered in blood and his face was pale. Zhong Sanqian spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, and said, you all. Zhong Sanqian, it is you who does not know how to appreciate favors. Gold Robe Master is a stubborn old man. Now, it won't be long before he dies. HMPH, who do you think you are? Now, no one placed Zhong Sanqian in their eyes. Blood gushed out of Zhong Sanqian's mouth as he said, God Rare Sect's will. What kind of shitty willpower is this? This old man only knows that life is more important than any will, so what about Flying Goddess? If you have the guts, why don't you tell her to ride a flying crane and come down again? Exactly. Right at this moment, a sharp cry of a crane sounded out. It's here. Chapter 1867, Fighting for Faith. Chapter 1867, Fighting for Faith. The shrill cry of a crane came from hundreds of miles away. Intimidating. Silence reigned in the plaza outside the hall. Gold Robe Master was covered in blood. He looked around and muttered, this voice. This sound. This sound. His mood was a little agitated. Discussions were rife in the plaza as they asked, what sounds? What was that just now? What is it? His mind was overwhelmed with shock. The feeling of having his mind suddenly shake caused everyone's heart to tremble. It seems, like the cry of a crane. A crane? What crane? Could it be that the flying crane is still in God Rare Sect? Humph. Goldcloak, you old thing, you want to play tricks on me? Today, not to mention flying crane, even if Flying Goddess were to come, Lousy would still ride her under his crotch. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Kill them all. Ignorant, so fearless. The young generation did not know how strong the flying crane was. To them, it was just a war beast. What could a mere war beast do to them? However, some of the older elders, looked at each other carefully. The title of the Devil Island's first battle beast was not just for show. Heh! Another slightly hoarse cry rang out, but it was so loud that it shook the hearts of the onlookers. The entire audience was once again shaken. Gold Robe Master looked at a corner and his emotions were getting more and more agitated. He's here, he's really here. Everyone looked at the sky. Many disciples with lower cultivations began to tremble in fear. Within the palace, Zhong Sanqian's eyes flashed as he replied seriously, Elder you're right, the flying crane has descended once again. The expression of the elders in the hall drastically changed. Others might not know, but they were very clear that the flying crane was too powerful. If the flying crane really did descend, then the God Rare sect would be safe and sound. However, Yu Jian squinted his eyes. His killing intent was dense. Regardless of whether you are a flying crane, Zhong Sanqian, you have to die. If one doesn't do it, the other won't. Since they had already done so, they had no choice but to fight to the end. Otherwise, the consequences would be even more disastrous. In that instant, Yu Jian shouted, "Kill him!" The elders recovered from their shock and attacked once more. Zhong Sanqian endured the pain and said, "Yu Jian, you have completely turned traitor, haven't you? All right. Then let's see who will die first." As soon as he finished, Zhong Sanqian did not attack, but rushed out of the hall. "Close the door." Boom, boom. The two elders shut the doors to the hall tightly as they surrounded and attacked Zhong Sanqian at the same time. The retreat was broken. Zhong Sanqian's expression tensed. He summoned his sword and exhaled deeply. 9 days and 10 places killing space, second realm, open for me. Buzz. He was sent flying when he encountered the lines of energy. Yu Jian shouted, "Don't be afraid, he is just a half-dead Zhong Sanqian. He is unable to release the killing interspace. As long as we kill him and present his head to the Destiny sect, we are safe. As for that crane cry just now, the flying crane has disappeared for nearly 1,000 years. It's impossible for it to still be alive. Don't worry." Killing intent had been resolved. After the many elders heard this, they even used all of their power to deal with Zhong Sanqian. Fight to the death. Outside the hall, 2 shrill crane cries shook the hall, but the elders carrying the Wheel of Fate did not care. He shouted and said, "What bullsh *T flying crane, I'll kill them if they come. Let's kill this old thing first." Kill. The powerhouse with a Wheel of Fate that was tens of meters tall dashed towards Gold Robe Master. Gold Robe Master's entire body was covered in blood. The golden blade in his hand trembled as he roared, "Come." A bloody battle. He heard 2 cranes. However, he did not see any flying crane. Was it an illusion? Or could it be that the one who let out the cry was not a flying crane, but an ordinary flying crane? He didn't know. He only knew that even if he were to die, he would die fighting for the God Rare sect. When he saw the doors of the hall suddenly close and the sounds of fighting coming from the hall, his heart turned cold. He knew that Zhong Sanqian was probably finished. The God Rare sect may be finished. The flames of the God Rare sect were about to extinguish. His heart ached, and his aura became even stronger. He roared at the sky, "Come, ah!" He took a step forward. Without the least bit of defense, he rushed towards the man who had humiliated the flying goddess with his words. Savage beyond compare. However, there were simply too many people in the Destiny sect. Even with the protection of the Shield of Fate, these people would not fight to the death with the Gold Robe Master. Wheel battles, battle of attrition, sneak attacks, all sorts of despicable and insidious moves were used. Less than half a minute. A few more bloody holes appeared on Gold Robe Master's body, and blood started to gush out like a pillar. All the powerhouses on the ground had also fallen, and were all killed by the Gold Robe Master. Ha ha ha. That old fellow won't be able to hold on much longer. Old thing, keep acting arrogant. Is the oil lamp out? Ha ha ha. Brothers, attack. Whoever takes down the head of the gold robe, or the person who gets the protection of the Destiny God, he or she will be able to enjoy even more of his or her longevity. As soon as he finished, a large group of powerhouse swarmed over. In the main hall, Zhong Sanqian struggled to resist using the 9 days and 10 places killing space, but his entire body was injured, as if he had crawled out of a pool of blood. He wouldn't be able to hold on much longer. Did you see that? The flying crane did not appear. Zhong Sanqian, all of this is your fantasy, ha ha ha. Kill him. A bloody battle would also be a battle to the death. Whether it was Gold Robe Master outside the hall or Zhong Sanqian inside the hall, they were all fighting for the God Rare sect. And they were fighting with the will of the God Rare sect. At the same time, they were also fighting for the prophecy left behind by the flying goddess. Someone will lead them out of Devil Island. Someone will command the entire Devil Island. Therefore, they had to pass down the God Rare sect's legacy. Even though they were trapped in a desperate situation, they did not give up, because this was already their belief. Kill him. Kill. Blood spurted out and the scene was tragic to behold. In the entire God Rare sect, only the two of them were fighting. It was as if the entire world seemed to have abandoned them both. Desolation. Desolate. He attacked again and again, and was knocked back time and again. He roared over and over again, risking his life over and over again. For the God Rare sect. For the prophecy, and also for the inheritance. Gold Robe Master's golden blade was shot down, his chest pierced through, and he continued to fight, not holding back anything. Zhong Sanqian's 9 days and 10 places killing space was shattered. More than 10 swords pierced into his body, but he still continued to fight. For faith. They were fearless. However, just when everyone's attention was focused on them, in the sky, a huge crane was hovering in the air, with a person standing on its back. Long Fei. Chapter 1868 Violent Killing. Chapter 1868 Violent Killing. 3 years of closed-door cultivation. What had happened in those 3 years? Long Fei did not know much. Seeing the large group of people below besieging and attacking an old man, Long Fei was a little unhappy. Moreover, even if he did not like the God Rare sect and hated his master, the Gold Robe Master, he had one thing that he had never forgotten. So, in that instant, buzz. With a hum, Long Fei fell from the sky. Boom. Bang. A loud sound directly exploded in the crowd. The huge impact directly blew a few Destiny Sect disciples away. Humph. Someone's coming to die. Who is this kid? Who cares who he is? If he dares to stand out for the God Rare sect, we'll kill him first. Gold Robe Master glanced at Long Fei. He had also not seen Long Fei before as well, and said, "Little brother, this doesn't concern you. There's no need to throw your life in here. Let's quickly leave." Long Fei's eyes swept across them, and said, "God Rare sect's matters are my matters." "I say, uncle, who are these guys?" "The disciples of the God Rare sect, and the elders." "Why are you the only one fighting?" Long Fei did not understand. No matter what, God Rare sect was still one of the 10 sects 3 years ago. As the saying goes, a skinny camel is bigger than a horse. Gold Robe Master smiled bitterly and said, "God Rare sect. It no longer exists." "What do you mean?" Long Fei's gaze tensed up. In the distance, a middle-aged man sneered and said, "So what you mean is, today, the God Rare sect is going to be destroyed. With just you." Long Fei raised his eyes and stared at the man who was speaking. The middle-aged man smirked and said, "Yes, I am." As soon as he finished, "Shua." Long Fei's footsteps were like thunder. He instantly charged forward and landed in front of the man. With a move of his right hand, he grabbed onto the man's neck and raised him up into the air. "Are you even worthy of that?" Crack. His 2 fingers exerted force, and before he could react, he had already strangled his throat. His body twitched, and he fell to the ground like a pile of mud, turning into a dead dog. A system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Elder of Destiny Sect 4, obtaining 19,000 experience, 1900 holy power value, 1 metamorphic energy value. It was also at this moment. Long Fei's brows sank, looked at the people around him, and said sinisterly, "Destiny Sect?" Long Fei's sudden outburst caused everyone to be stunned for a moment. It had to be known that the Elder just now was a level 3 purple star, and was not considered strong, but he could instantly kill him, causing the strength Long Fei displayed to become even more powerful. Gold Robe Master was also slightly shocked. Such a fast speed, such shocking explosive strength, to have such a cultivation at such a young age, it is truly amazing. Gold Robe Master said, "That's right, they are Destiny Sect." Destiny Sect. Fate. Zone. Fate. God. Long Fei muttered to himself. A middle-aged elder coldly snorted and said, "Boy, you're scared?" The Destiny Sect was created by the God of Destiny to eliminate all those who oppose him. Today is the God Rare Sect, tomorrow is the little bastard Long Fei inside the Devil Temple. The entire Devil Island will not let him off if he dares to oppose the god of destiny. He was extremely pleased with himself. In the current Devil Island, who would dare oppose the Destiny sect? Who dares to challenge God? Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Long Fei laughed, and in the end, almost laughed wildly. Destiny God, Destiny sect. Devil Island. I never thought that after 3 years, you bunch of cowards actually became dogs of the Destiny God. Abandoned by the main temple, go and kneel down and lick them now. Ha ha ha. You are not cheap, the servility in your bones is inborn. Even if you are not in this Devil Island, you are a bunch of trash that will never be able to lift up your heads. Long Fei said coldly. He had not imagined that the words of those who had left 3 years ago would actually come true. The 9 major sects had allied with all of the forces in the Devil Island to form a Destiny sect to chase after and kill all those who were related to Long Fei. This was the case for the current God Rare sect. How dare you? Is it possible for someone like you to slander the God of Destiny? Who do you think you are? What qualifications do you have to judge where we live? A few middle-aged men spoke with a heavy tone. Long Fei grinned coldly and said, "Didn't you guys want to kill Long Fei? Didn't your God of Destiny want to kill Long Fei? He was almost killed by Long Fei in the past. Now, I'm right here. From today onwards, anyone who comes from Destiny sect will die." While Long Fei was speaking, the chi on his body burst out, becoming extremely turbulent. Everyone's face turned cold. You are Long Fei? He is Long Fei. Isn't he in the Devil Temple? 3 years of closed-door cultivation? Are you out now? Everyone, quickly look. There's a divine crane in the sky. It's the flying crane. Is it his mount? For a moment, all the disciples of the Destiny sect in the plaza started to panic. 3 years of loss had caused many legends regarding Long Fei. Some said that he died in the Devil Temple, while others said that he was the son of Hell that could summon the Hell Reaper. Some people even said that he was the king of giants, and that he could summon out giants. In short, there were many legends. You are Long Fei? Ha ha ha. There's no need to go to such lengths to find it. That elder laughed coldly and said, God of Destiny said, whoever can take your head, will have the qualification to leave the Devil Island. After thousands of years, only the flying goddess has managed to break through the shackles. I will become the second person to break through. When the time comes, I will go find the flying goddess. I want to be the first man to break through the Devil Island to imprison women, ha ha ha. At this moment, Long Fei's figure disappeared. Just at this moment, Gold Robe Master's figure also disappeared. The two charged at the man at the same time. However, Long Fei was even faster. A step landed in front of that person. The man's face turned sinister, the shield of destiny on his body suddenly activated, and the powerful fate will quickly expanded, wanting to shoot Long Fei flying. However, there was nothing that Long Fei could do to stop him. There was no wheel of destiny in front of him. The moment he landed, the wheel of destiny had already been destroyed by a surge of energy. Long Fei's right fist sank, boom. He directly pierced through that elder's abdomen, suddenly pulling out all of his internal organs and grabbed them in front of that person. Then, he asked, "Are you afraid?" Without waiting for that person to finish, Long Fei moved his left hand, using all of his strength to slap the man's face behind him. Insulting his mother? Die. It was also at this moment that an old man from the Destiny sect shouted, "Kill him." Chapter 1869 I'm going to kill someone. Chapter 1869 I'm going to kill someone. He could not tolerate being insulted. If he insulted his mother, there would be no one here, not even the 18 generations of that person's ancestors. However, and following Long Fei's enraged kill, all the disciples of the Destiny sect surrounded and attacked him. Thousands of disciples crazily rushed over while blotting out the sky. Their eyes were blazing. Because, as long as they could kill Long Fei, it was possible for them to leave the Devil Island. In the ancient holy battlefield, every warrior's dream was to enter the ancient holy battlefield. Because only there would one be able to manifest the true value of a martial artist. Only there would you have the chance to obtain everything you wanted. Moreover, The Devil Island was a place of abdication. There would never be a day where one could stand up for themselves, so everyone wanted to leave. Since their strength could not be broken through, they could only rely on the power of the Destiny God. Gold Robe Master looked at Long Fei. In his heart, he hated Long Fei because all of this was Long Fei. However, seeing how that man killed Flying Goddess in anger, his heart suddenly calmed down. Immediately, Gold Robe Master said, "Long Fei, there are too many people here, we are not the opponent of others, so you better hurry up and leave. In addition, Zhong Sanqian is trapped in the Great Hall. If possible, can you go and save him?" Gold Robe Master still hoped that Long Fei could escape. Inside his heart, he was also anticipating, "Zhong Sanqian, I hope you're right." He had to protect this flame of Long Fei's well. Star flame can set the prairie ablaze. As long as there are still people living in the God Rare sect, then the God Rare sect will not be extinguished. However, you want to leave? Humph. Today, even if he has wings, he won't be able to escape. Golden Robed, your life is no longer important, Long Fei's life is more valuable, go all out and kill him. From all directions, they surged towards Long Fei like a tide. Long Fei was instantly surrounded by thousands of people. Even if he was a Purple Star Realm cultivator, facing such a strong Destiny Sect elite disciple, he was no match for him. But, Long Fei laughed. He said excitedly, "Escape? I never thought of running away, and you guys should be the ones trying to escape, right?" The idea moved. Desperate man, go Zhong Sanqian. A white light flashed in the air. The main door of the hall suddenly burst open. At this moment, Long Fei revealed a sinister smile and said, "Hell Reaper, kill them all for me." In that instant, buzz, buzz, buzz. In the sky, the 12 Hell Reaper-s descended like 12 rays of flowing light, forming 12 straight lines as they rushed out. Countless disciples flew into the air in 12 straight lines wherever they went, their blood filling the sky. Miserable screams shook the skies. Long Fei laughed disdainfully. "I'm escaping? F***ck. There is no such word as escape in Lao's dictionary. Destiny Sect. I, your father, will turn you into the Hell Sect." The moment Long Fei said this, his fists moved, and he immediately charged into the crowd, thinking fiercely in his heart, "I haven't even made a move against you, but you actually want to make a move against me. Destiny God, as long as I don't die, I will never let you off. Kill." With the devil's sword in one hand and fire dragon knife in the other, they slaughtered crazily. At this moment, the system beeps in Long Fei's mind also crazily resounded. Ding, ding, ding ding ding. His experience points rose explosively. This feeling could only be described by one word: great. Moreover, he had been fighting against 4 holy monks for 3 years. It seemed like his level had not increased, but his strength, speed, and reaction speed had all increased by an unprecedented amount. His battle experience was incomparably rich. Despite being surrounded by 100 people, they were not harmed in the slightest. Moreover, it was still crazily crushing his opponent. In 3 years, Long Fei had grown too much. Boom, boom, boom. Destiny God, you can cultivate this trash? It's not even enough, it's just too weak. Long Fei cursed at the sky, and thought to himself, "Mother ***, if only we had a little more primordial energy, we could have crushed the Destiny God in just a few minutes." Back then, he had also used the power of primordial chaos to crush Destiny God. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently level 8 Purple Star. I'm just 2 levels away from getting the system reward. 12 killers, hurry up. Long Fei shouted, not a single one can be let go. The Destiny Sect army of thousands of people instantly crumbled, and were completely wiped out by the 12 Hell Reapers. It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. These Hell Reaper were born killers. They had no emotions or desires. No emotions. Long Fei's order was everything, and more importantly, the key point was that Long Fei could still help them raise their cultivation levels. Within these 3 years of being in the Shu Mi rings, their strength had increased by quite a bit. The giant's perfect fusion had also been completely absorbed. Hold on. Hold on. Quick, hold on. It came surging over like the tide and retreated like the tide. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Currently level 8 purple star. He leveled up once again. Long Fei said excitedly, I'm still 1 level away from reaching Black Star Realm, and I can trigger the system reward again. Hee hee. Continue to kill. Long Fei laughed loudly. Destiny Sect? Awesome. You're so awesome for lousy. Looking at the corpses that covered the ground, Long Fei started to sneer. 12 Hell Reapers were still crazily chasing after them. Long Fei's order was to kill them all. They would not stop until he had killed them all. At this moment, a dozen or so elders walked out from the main hall and kneeled on the floor. Long Fei, spare me. Long Fei, spare me. I beg of you, we were forced to do it too. Long Fei, let us go. Long Fei looked at them, and then at Zhong Sanqian, who was on his last breath on Desperate Man's back. His heart sank. Sect leader. Zhong Sanqian's entire body was covered in blood, his life already hanging by a thread. Zhong Sanqian looked at Long Fei and smiled faintly. Long Fei, you have finally come out of seclusion. And then he looked at the dying gold robe master and said, Ancestor, did I bet on the right treasure? Ha ha ha. Cough, cough, cough. A large mouthful of blood sprayed out. Gold robe master smiled lightly and said, Long Fei, you must carry the God Rare Sect's banner, because maybe you can lead God Rare Sect down there and walk out of there. If we cough cough. Gold robe master also coughed quickly, spitting out black blood with a face as pale as paper. He was about to die. Long Fei's heart ached, and he said, I won't let you die. The idea moved. Rumble. With a loud noise, Devil Temple was summoned out. Long Fei grabbed the two and immediately rushed into the temple. Tian Shu, can it be saved? The Tian Shu's expression did not change, it only nodded and said, yes. All right. You save him now. I'm going to kill someone. Long Fei left the Devil Temple in a flash. Chapter 1870, 12 Holy Generals. Chapter 1870, 12 Holy Generals. The instant he came out of Devil Temple, the elders who were kneeling on the ground were trembling in fear. Long Fei glanced at them, the anger on his body burst forth, the fire dragon knife swept, the blade chi swept across. Boom, boom, boom. One slash, light. Ding, ding, ding. A bunch of trash. Leaving you all in this world is just a waste of air. Long Fei disdainfully snorted, then turned and shook his right leg, causing it to fly into the air and land on the back of the flying crane. I wonder where the senior sister and the rest are. Where are Mu Bing and the rest? Long Fei's heart tensed up. Ba Wang Hua had returned once before, but they received an order before they even stepped into the entrance of the God Rare Sect. They had already been expelled from the God Rare Sect. He did not know where he was now. As for Mu Bing and the rest, they had been sent down the mountain by Zhong Sanqian in secret. I don't care. Right now, the entire Devil Island is my enemy, and my friends are their enemy. Right now, it must be difficult for them to take even one step, because the most pressing matter of the moment is to strike with all they have. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he said, to the Destiny Sect. The flying crane did not move, because it did not know where the Destiny Sect was. Long Fei hesitated for a moment, then said, Nai Lin was the first to come into contact with the Destiny God, so the position of the Xianyang sect might be the main rudder of the Destiny Sect. All right. To the Xianyang sect. The flying crane spread its wings and charged into the clouds. His speed was extremely fast, he could travel tens of millions of kilometers in a day. If there was an urgent matter, Long Fei really wanted to go to the edge of Devil Island to take a look, to see if there was a barrier surrounding Devil Island. What did you say? Completely wiped out. Not a single one alive. Destiny Sect, Destiny God Palace. An old man stared at him, emitting a strong aura from the 5 elements on his body. The elder in the hall said slightly, That's right, Long Fei has entered society, the entire 12 Hell Reapers is out, all our 2,000 elite soldiers are dead. Not a single one. Who did you just say? The elder's eyes shone with a bright light. The elder said, Long Fei. Long Fei. Long Fei who killed Nai Lin 3 years ago. He came out of Devil Temple. Didn't they say that he died inside the Devil Temple? The head elder's eyes were filled with excitement. Another clan elder in the palace replied, "Those are just rumors, but we never thought that Long Fei would actually stay in the Devil Temple for a whole 3 years, and that he would even stay there longer than the Flying Goddess. Any one of the 100,000 legacies in the Devil Temple are extremely powerful. How much of them have he mastered in 3 years? Long Fei entered society, looks like he is here for us." The hall was filled with discussions. However, there was one thing that they were not afraid of Long Fei at all. Those who could enter the Destiny Hall were all Supreme Elder of the 9 major sects. Moreover, the power of the Wheel of Destiny they had was not as weak as those ordinary elders. The establishment of the Destiny sect was based on a strong foundation of the power of destiny, and not purely out of reverence for the Destiny God. The sect master of the Destiny sect is the Destiny God. However, it had never appeared before. Everything was under the control of the Destiny Hall's elders. Great Elder Ju Tianmo laughed coldly, "I don't care who it is that has entered society. In 3 years, is there anyone who still revered the Devil Temple? Is there anyone else who wants to go to Devil Hills? No. The Destiny God Palace is the true sacred hall. What does a mere Devil Temple matter? Also, Ju Tianmo laughed coldly and said, "Long Fei's cultivation method and uniqueness, it is simply impossible to grasp any of the inheritance power in the Devil Temple." Everyone shivered. Everyone looked at the Great Elder. Ju Tianmo laughed faintly. With killing, he broke through, killed, and even killed demons, providing him with a powerful realm. But he was unable to comprehend the true meaning of a realm like a normal martial artist, so even if the 100,000 inheritance were to be in front of him, he would still not be able to grasp it. What did he look like 3 years ago, now? What does he look like? As long as we can take down Long Fei's head, we can claim credit in front of the God of Destiny and have him bring us out of the Devil Island and into the true ancient holy battlefield. While they were talking, Ju Tianmo was incomparably excited. All the elders in the hall were filled with excitement. Long Fei's head could give them everything. "Leave the Devil Island," Ju Tianmo immediately said. "Get back and prepare for me, we need to quickly capture Long Fei." "Ha ha ha. We won't be able to leave the Devil Island for long, ha ha ha. Ha ha ha." Everyone laughed out loud. Just then, an elder ran into the hall anxiously. Reporting to Great Clan Elder, "Long Fei has appeared." The entire hall suddenly quieted down. Ju Tianmo took a step forward, and asked with a face brimming with excitement, "Where is he?" The clan elder said, "On the way to Xianyang sect." Ju Tianmo's eyes turned cold and he laughed coldly, "I'm not looking for you, but you're actually looking for us. This way is also good. It also saves me some effort. Send my order, lead 10,000 elite warriors to Xianyang sect immediately. In addition, Xianyang ancestor, you go first. Open your Xianyang sect's solar array and trap him first. I want to enter the secret hall and await God of Destiny's instructions." Hearing the 2 words secret hall, everyone's expression turned cold. "Yes, sir." Inside a secret hall below the Destiny God's palace. Inside were tribute items. Over a dozen of the most beautiful women were naked. Ju Tianmo walked into the secret hall and immediately knelt on the ground. Looking at the Destiny God statue, he said, "Master, Long Fei has appeared." However, Long Fei entered society with 12 Hell Reapers. Without waiting for Ju Tianmo to finish, a ray of light flashed in the eyes of the statue. As though it was alive, it opened its mouth and said, "Hell Reaper? Can't think of anything else but for this little bastard to get the support of the underworld. Humph. This must be caused by his damned father, right? However, this is the ancient holy battlefield, not hell. We can't unleash the power of the Hell Reaper at all." And then, Destiny God swept his gaze across the 12 exceptional beauties, and revealed a lecherous smile on his statue. He said lightly, "Wait outside, I will create 12 holy generals for you. They will obey you." Ju Tianmo immediately replied, "Thank you, Master." He left the secret hall. Immediately, miserable screams of agony sounded in the secret hall. It was as if the souls of the dead were being torn apart. 12 streams of bright red blood flowed out. Slowly, the blood enveloped their bodies. One by one, the powers of destiny poured in, and their bodies began to change as if the heavens were turning upside down, turning them into demon-like human and animals. His entire body was covered in blood-red armor. 12 holy generals. Chapter 1871, Solar Array. Chapter 1871, Solar Array. Have you heard? Long Fei has entered society. What entering society? He directly brought out the entire Devil Temple. What kind of power is this? I heard that 3 years ago, when Long Fei fought the 9 major sects alone, even the incomparably strong Hell Reaper that no one dared to touch was subdued by him. He is the son of Hell. He's more than just a son of Hell, he's also the king of the giant clan. The entire Devil Island was talking about Long Fei. Tianyang City, civilian's lair. In a small yard. Lan Yue quickly entered the courtyard and said, Long Fei, Long Fei, Long Fei has appeared. As soon as he finished, the door to the courtyard suddenly opened. Lei Ju was the first to walk out, and said, Little sister Yue, what did you say just now? Boss Long Fei came back from the Devil Temple? Ba Wang Hua also hurriedly walked out. His tears were about to pour out as he said, He finally came out? Ha ha ha. LV Shuangchuan started laughing excitedly. You scoundrel, it's been 3 years already. Damn it, it's finally our turn now, right? The heavy sword on Wang Tai's back shook slightly, and his body also emitted a berserk aura. 3 years' time. They were hiding everywhere, and were being hunted. As long as they appeared anywhere, a large number of Destiny Sect disciples would immediately rush over. As long as it was related to Long Fei, even if it was someone who said something, they would be killed. Luo Heights. The entire village had been killed. In all of Tianyang City, only Lan Yue was still alive. Even the Lei family, which had long been divorced from Lei Ju, had been annihilated. As long as there was a connection, it could be said that there were 9 families involved. During these 3 years, they had gathered together and hid within this dark civilian cave. Every day, they would desperately cultivate and endure just so that they could wait for the day Long Fei would enter society. Now, it finally appeared. Mu Bing's face was full of excitement as he asked, Where is the sect master now? Lan Yue said, What I heard was that Long Fei is on his way to the Shenyang sect, and on top of that. Also. Yang Nantian asked, And what? Lan Yue said, Furthermore, Long Fei brought Devil Temple to the God Rare sect, and killed all of the disciples that surrounded and annihilated the God Rare sect. Beautiful. The boss is the boss, too mighty. Domineering. What a relief. Everyone was incomparably excited. Wang Tai took a step forward, turned his head and looked at them. What are you all waiting for? Yang Nantian smiled slightly and said, It's time to move. When Long Fei rushed to Shenyang sect, the Destiny God Palace will definitely send a large number of powerhouses to kill him. I want to fight to the bitter end. The Ba Wang Hua said, The moment Long Fei enters society, too many things have happened in 3 years, especially for the Destiny Gods Hall. It's too strong. Long Fei basically has no idea. Could it be? Humph. So what if you're a god? So what if you're a main temple? Boss Long Fei said before, he did not even put the Destiny God in his eyes. I heard that Long Fei stepped over the Destiny God when I was still in the lower planes. LV Shuangchuan said while laughing. Mu Bing said, The past is the past, and now is the present. The present Destiny God is definitely different from the past. Furthermore, this is the Devil Island, a place abandoned by the gods, but a place that respects the gods. The sect master is facing the power that we have faced in these 3 years, the entire Devil Island, Wang Tai said. Since you are talking about this here, why don't you give boss a good fight? At least you look like a person. But, how do we get to the Shenyang sect? Walk. The distance from here to Shenyang sect was thousands of miles. If he were to walk, he would be crippled by the time he reaches the Shenyang sect. Yang Nantian smiled faintly and said, Don't worry, I have long prepared the best for this day. A gigantic iron-hand eagle floated in the air. Let's go together. He happily accompanied Long Fei in a battle. Main Temple. Why has there been so much movement in Devil Island for the past few days? Why would there be movement in such a sinful and trashy place? You can see for yourselves. A mini version of the Devil Island appeared in one of his hands, as streams of strange energy surged, once again assaulting the shackles of the boundary. Everyone was startled. One of the deities said, "This is the forbidden land of gods. Even if we are going to destroy this place, we can't let anything happen to this place. It's just a bunch of trash." Humph. How arrogant. I suggest that they directly exterminate the Devil Island. This place should not exist, and these people should not be given the chance to live. The fire god said. God of destiny, I heard that you've been there. Do you have any objections? The destiny god laughed coldly and said, "If you have no objections, you can kill him." Great earth god, raise your hand. Destiny god looked at the earth god. To the destiny sect. To those who were loyal to him, they were but ants to him, ants of no value. The earth god said lightly, "You are right, but this is a place that the Lord God created. If we want to kill them, we need the Lord God's consent." Everyone fell silent. The Forsaken Godland was a place that the sovereign had created all by himself. Lord God has to agree. At this time, a deity whispered, "I heard that a divine child is about to be born." Yes. I've heard so too. In addition, the celestial phenomena indicate that the birth of the Son of God could possibly change the entire world. It's been so many years since a godchild has appeared. Who do you think it is? I'm afraid the talent of the person selected by the Lord God is greater than anyone else. Could it be the reincarnation of God, Zhong Wushuang? He is about to reach the level of cultivating his fleshly body. If he is a son of God, then we must treat him well. Destiny God was shocked. If Zhong Wushuang is the godchild. His eyes blurred. The corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. God's shield, main artifact. If it was really the reincarnation of a god, then Zhong Wushuang really might be chosen by the god as a child of God. Once the main artifact is completely merged with, Zhong Wushuang will become the strongest person under the sovereign realm, Devil Island, Xianyang sect. An enormous crane flew over. He's here. Long Fei is here. The disciples of the Xianyang sect were stunned. Long Fei landed, glanced at the Xianyang sect's guards, and coldly asked, "This is the Xianyang sect?" "That's right. Long Fei, you're finally here. This is your grave, ha ha ha." An elder laughed coldly. At this moment, Long Fei said, "Then I won't be in the wrong place." With that, he landed behind the laughing elder, who also instantly killed him. Activate solar array. Long Fei, prepare to die, ha ha ha. Chapter 1872 Bro, Something Awesome. Chapter 1872 Bro, Something Awesome. Long Fei, die. On Xianyang sect's mysterious sun summit, a ray of golden light shot towards the blazing sun in the sky. At this moment, the scorching sun seemed to have exploded, as countless rays of light surrounded the entire Xianyang sect, releasing a buzzing sound in all directions. Solar array. With the sun at the head, the scorching sun as the guide. The gathering of Wn to form an incomparably powerful defense was also a type of offensive and incisive formation. Long Fei looked at the solar array behind him, and then looked at the Xianyang sect disciples that were floating in the sky, and smiled slightly, and said, "If you want to release the solar array, you guys should have done it earlier. You guys should have kept me out of the way, yet you guys directly trapped me in the array. Aren't you all courting death?" Humph. Long Fei, we wanted to trap you inside the array. Do you really think you can get out? Ha ha ha. You can forget about it for the rest of your life. An elder of Xianyang sect laughed. No one had been able to break the formation since the founding of the first generation of Xianyang sect S. After countless years of refinement, the solar array was even more perfect. Xianyang ancestor laughed complacently. Even Flying Goddess was unable to break this formation back then. A piece of trash wants to break the formation? Long Fei looked at Xianyang ancestor and asked, "Who said I want to break the formation? You've already trapped me inside." Why would I break the array? You should be the ones trying to break it, right? He came here to kill. However, he had never thought of breaking through the formation. Long Fei looked at the Xianyang ancestor. If I kill you all, wouldn't this formation be broken? It's not that flying goddess can't break the array, it's just that she's too kind and can't bear to offend you all. I'm different, I came here to take back everything. Today, I will first execute your Xianyang sect. As soon as he finished, the aura on Long Fei's body released out, and his killing intent became stronger. It was also at this moment. Long Fei took a step forward. Whoosh! The purple-gold light burst out, transforming into a stream of light and rushed in front of Xianyang ancestor. The purple star realm dares to be rash? Humph! You overestimate yourself. The two protectors who were beside Xianyang ancestor grabbed his two bags from left and right, while the black star's light flashed from their bodies. Their cultivation was obviously above Long Fei's. A pair of swords in unison. Two black rays of light pierced towards Long Fei's heart. Buzz! Buzz! With the devil sword in one hand and fire dragon knife in the other, Long Fei grinned, "Your speed is too slow. It's like ants crawling." Indeed. In his eyes, he didn't know why the two protectors were so slow. It wasn't because they weren't fast enough, but because Long Fei had battled in the Devil Temple for 3 years and his cultivation had not broken through yet, but his battle experience had already reached the pinnacle. In Four Holy Monks' assessment, it was not as simple as defeating them. This was not an assessment at all. Rather, it was a type of experimental learning. Using the Four Holy Monks' to train Long Fei would allow him to level up his combat skills greatly. This was also a type of arrangement. Because Mu Wanna already knew that Long Fei would not cultivate the 100,000 legacy, but she was using another method to make Long Fei stronger. The hearts of all parents in the world. It could be said that Mu Wanna had spent a lot of time and effort. Facing the 1,000-man army of the God Rare sect, Long Fei had not met any Black Star Realm powerhouse, so he could not feel it either. However, when he saw the two profound young protectors moving as fast as ants, he thought he was seeing things, but, focusing their eyes, their speed was truly like a tortoise's. This was the change brought about by his battle prowess. At this moment, Long Fei suddenly realized that these 3 years were not an examination, but training. He had become stronger. Too slow. Too slow. I've been waiting to the point that I can't wait any longer. Long Fei floated in midair, and impatiently said, "Can't you guys hurry up?" Humph. Brat, you are just a waste of Purple Star Realm, yet you dare to say that we are slow in front of us and put on an act. The bodies of the two protectors suddenly changed, moving in a myriad of illusions. In the air, thousands of figures appeared and attacked Long Fei. "Master, 2 of the clan elders are too powerful. This Long Fei is only a Purple Star Realm cultivator. He would definitely not be able to hold on. With one move, he would be killed." "I think that's about right. Look at him standing still, he must be scared silly. He's still talking too much about being slow. Can he see the silhouette of the Grand Elder clearly? Who was she trying to scare? And I thought we were scared to death." "Exactly." A few disciples of Xianyang sect mocked. Xianyang ancestor did not make a sound, but a hint of a smile appeared in his eyes, because he also thought that Long Fei was only playing tricks on them, and could not resist the two's pincer attack. If Long Fei died, then he would become the #1 person in the Destiny God Palace, and might even be the first person to leave the Devil Island. Thinking about these Xianyang ancestors, he couldn't help but become excited. Ha ha ha. Thinking about it, Xianyang ancestor couldn't help but laugh out loud. One of the disciples standing beside him immediately flattered, "Master, our Xianyang sect was the first to have taken a fancy to him." What right does Zhu Tianmo have to become the great clan elder and even have the exclusive right to enter the secret palace? He will also become the first person after the flying goddess to leave the Devil Island. This flattery caused Xianyang ancestor to feel extremely comfortable. He laughed proudly and said, "Well said, ha ha ha." However, as he laughed, the sudden change in the situation had not gone as he had expected. One slash. One sword. Fresh blood spurted out from the wound. Thousands of shadows were extinguished in an instant. There were no longer any figures of protectors left behind. I said you guys are too slow. You dare to be cocky in front of me? Long Fei's eyes flashed with a cold light. He looked at the sword, and the two corpses on the blade, laughed coldly, and said, "You can't even take a single blow." Swoosh swoosh. He flung the two corpses away. At the same time, the system beeped. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing protector Shen Yang for obtaining 30,000 experience, 3,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining profound Yang illusion. Do you wish to cultivate it? About this. Long Fei looked at the items that the system had dropped, and said softly, "It has been a long time since Big Brother used his metamorphic energy value. There are a lot of disciples in Shen Yang sect anyway. Even if nothing abnormal comes out, at most, I can just release it once more. Activate metamorphic energy value. Bro, some awesome stuff." Chapter 1873 Myriad Yang Fission. Chapter 1873 Myriad Yang Fission Master System. I'm counting on you. He poured 100 points of metamorphic energy value into it. The only cultivation method that could be used was mysterious Yang fantasy. The system paused for 2 seconds, and then system beeps rang. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Myriad Yang Fission Fusion. What? Fission of 10,000 suns? It's obviously just a cultivation technique. Why did it become a type of power? Is there a strong chemical reaction? Long Fei was a little stunned. A cultivation technique was a cultivation technique. Strength is strength, holy artifact is holy artifact. No matter how abnormal his metamorphic energy value was, it would never leave his side. What it was or what it was, they would only become stronger. This was the first time that a cultivation technique had directly transformed into strength. Was extremely shocked. What I'm cultivating is a cultivation method, and what is fused is strength. This is the first time a cultivation method has become abnormal. Long Fei muttered in his heart, but he did not immediately merge the Myriad Yang Fission into his body. Instead, he opened up the system to check its attributes. Item, Fission of 10,000 suns type, strength grade, unknown attribute, fissile flame damage, 10 stars description. Myriad Yang Fission is the fission of 1/10,000th of the mysterious Yang energy within the mysterious Yang illusion technique. It increases the strength of the mysterious Yang to that of Myriad Yang. Description 2. The user can obtain the body of 10,000 Yang by fusing with it. Description 3. The power of fission of 10,000 suns is extremely strong. It is a group attack, a destructive existence. Looking at the system's description of Myriad Yang Fission, Long Fei became excited. Why does it seem to me that the fission of the profound Yang group is due to the nuclear force? Fuse. The more heaven-destroying and earth-destroying it is, the more it needs to be fuse. Boom. Following the movement of Long Fei's idea, the abnormal energy of Myriad Yang Fission fused into Long Fei's body. In this instant, his body became like a flame. It burned. However, he didn't feel the slightest bit of pain. Instead, he felt a warm and comfortable feeling. The fire element was only a type of power within the Wanyang family. At the same time Long Fei fused with the 10,000 Yang Fission, his body also slowly became one of 10,000 Yang body, and he could feel the Yang energy in everything around him. Flowers, trees, rocks, buildings. Even Long Fei could clearly feel the Yang energy in his body. The sun. The source of all Yang energy, and Long Fei now felt as if his body had a sun in it, and that he could control all of the Yang energy. Awesome. It feels so good. Ha ha ha. This is simply too great. Long Fei was extremely excited in his heart. Seems like there is a time limit to metamorphic energy value. The longer it takes to brew, the stronger the items that will be dropped. Ha ha ha. It's actually fission. It's just the surface. The instant Long Fei fused with the Myriad Yang Fission technique, the dragon-shaped mark on his arm started to glow with a scorching light under his clothes, and became extremely excited, as if it had been injected with chicken blood. Strength. The dragon-shaped mark became clearer, and at the same time, became more beautiful. The power contained within it exceeded Long Fei's imagination. From its strange appearance, every time Long Fei broke through, every time he leveled up, he gained even more power. After the Dragon King seal was revealed, the dragon-shaped mark became even more lively. Long Fei did not know. The main artifact dragon coffin that was lying quietly in his space ring was trembling from time to time, as if it was being pulled by some kind of force and was slowly awakening. The left and right protectors were killed, leaving the Xianyang sect in complete silence. Xianyang ancestor was still laughing so hard that he didn't even have time to close his mouth, as he stared gloomily at Long Fei, his eyes emitting a strong killing intent. Long Fei! He let out a deep roar. Long Fei also recovered. He looked up at the Xianyang ancestor and sneered, "I say, they are too slow. It's as slow as an ant crawling." Xianyang ancestor's face turned sinister as he said, "This old man will not let you off. Today, I will make sure you die here." While they were talking, the aura on the old man's body stirred, and the Black Star Peak realm's power surged out like a flood, forming a powerful energy aura. A black light flashed. Very strong. Black Star Peak realm, the strongest warrior in the Xianyang sect. Long Fei glanced at him, then said faintly, "Don't be anxious, it's not your turn yet." And then, Long Fei looked into the distance and lightly said, "This Xianyang sect is pretty big. At least the few main peaks of this profound Sun Mountain range is more than 10 kilometers wide. Kid, what do you want to do?" An elder shouted. Long Fei said, "What do you not want to do? Isn't your Xianyang sect always considered himself the #1 envoy of the fate god? I want to see how strong your Xianyang sect is." "Right. I need to ask a question. How many people does your Xianyang sect have?" Xianyang ancestor's gaze locked onto Long Fei, and said, "What are you planning to do?" An elder beside him said, 3,000 elite disciples are in the plaza. As long as I give the order, they will immediately rush over and tear you into 10,000 pieces. You must be afraid." "Afraid? Aya, I'm really scared." Long Fei laughed and said, 3,000 elite warriors, if we count them, one level should be enough, right? He was a grade 9 purple star. He was still far from Black Star Realm. To him, level was a good thing. The key was, as long as one stepped into the Black Star Realm, the system would reward him. Then, Long Fei felt the extremely strong power of Wn Yang in his body, and smiled slightly, saying, "Let's see how strong your power of 10,000 Yang splitting fission is." Huff! In that instant, Long Fei's body sank. Buzz! An explosive sound reverberated all over his body. The entire space trembled, and rays of sun-like light shot out from all directions within his body. But this was not only the power of the sun, but also the power of 10,000 suns that was split apart by the mysterious sun. The beam of light scattered down. The entire profound Sun Mountain range was enveloped, and all the disciples of the Xianyang sect were stunned. What is this? What rich yang energy? Why does it feel like the aura is similar to the power of the solar array? What kind of power is this? They did not move. This kind of light that could split 10,000 suns felt warm and comfortable on their bodies, without any discomfort. Xianyang ancestor also had a stupefied expression. "Long Fei, what are you doing? What is this thing?" "Long Fei, you dog, master is asking you a question, hurry up and answer them." The beam of light became stronger and stronger, until all the corners of the profound Sun Mountain range were illuminated. Long Fei slightly raised his eyes, and gently smiled. "Do you want to know what this is?" "Hee hee. Open your eyes wide and look clearly. You will know soon enough." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's eyes suddenly became sinister, fission, explosion. Chapter 1874, One Strike, 1 Second. Chapter 1874, One Strike, 1 Second. As soon as he finished, the power of 10,000 suns in Long Fei's body suddenly released an intense fission power. It produced an incomparably strong reaction in the surrounding 10,000 sunlight beams. In an instant, just for a moment, the mysterious Sun Mountain range and the dozen or so mountain peaks all suddenly disappeared in a beam of light. There was no loud sound, and no scene. Just at that moment, in the blink of an eye, Xianyang sect disappeared from the Demon Island. Not a single bit was left, leaving behind only a few dozen kilometers of flat ground and a bottomless abyss. It was a complete mess. At this moment, Long Fei's eardrums seemed to explode. Ding 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 ding. All sorts of machine guns were fired out, thousands of them all exploded in a second. Boom. If the system was a machine, he would definitely crash or even explode. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up. Current level, Black Star rank 1. Ding. Congratulations player Long Fei for stepping into the Black Star realm. You have obtained a special reward. Reward item, Essence Chi Slash. Do you wish to cultivate it? Essence Chi Slash. The items rewarded by the system will definitely not be bad. Cultivate. Even if it's lacking, I can still be fused with the blasting fist. Ha ha ha. Long Fei moved and clicked on cultivation. There was an additional skill in his Chi method bar. At the same time, Long Fei was also in a stupefied state. I wiped it off. Fission of 10,000 suns. This F** king damage, it's heaven defying. Destroy the entire sect in one move. Not only did he kill someone, the entire Xianyang sect was also gone. He wasn't captured by the Shu Mi rings, nor was he moved to another space. What kind of concept was this power? Terrifying to the point of being a complete mess. In the entire Xianyang sect, other than the Xianyang ancestor in front of Long Fei and a few elders, there were no other such things. They were all dumbfounded, as though they were idiots. They stood rooted to the spot, not moving at all. Some of the elders were about to go blind from the shock. They thought it was an illusion. However, even if they rubbed their eyeballs, it would be useless because this was reality. You. Xianyang ancestor's voice was trembling, his body was also trembling as he stuttered, Long Fei, you, what did you do? Where's the Xianyang sect? Where is my Xianyang sect? Xianyang ancestor's voice trembled. In that instant, he was completely dumbstruck, unable to react at all. The beam just now. What exactly is that beam of light that has the same aura as the solar array? Another elder said in a trembling voice. Long Fei grinned excitedly. Guess. Ha ha ha. The huge Xianyang sect disappeared with a thought. A few hundred kilometers away, the army led by the Temple of Destiny was slightly shaken. The leading Zhu Tianmo suddenly stopped. Looking at the golden light from before, which was extremely dazzling, his expression turned sinister. What happened? Half a minute later, an elder reported anxiously, reporting to Great Clan Elder, Xianyang sect. Speak. What are you hesitating for? Quickly tell me. Zhu Tianmo's eyes trembled. That elder said, the Xianyang sect has disappeared. Disappeared? Zhu Tianmo's brows tightened, and said, the entire Xianyang sect disappeared? Yes, in the instant when the golden light was dazzling, all of the main peaks of the Xianyang sect disappeared in an instant. No one knows what happened. The elder quickly said. Zhu Tianmo pondered for a moment, then asked, is the solar array still around? Reporting to Great Clan Elder, the solar array is still here. Zhu Tianmo sneered, and said, as long as the solar array is not broken, it means that Long Fei is still inside. As for whether the Xianyang sect is gone, it doesn't matter. Pass down my orders. Everyone, summon out all your spirit channeling beasts. Use all your speed to rush to Xianyang sect in the shortest time possible. Zhu Tianmo ordered. Looking into the distance, he laughed sinisterly. Long Fei, you won't be able to escape even if you have wings today. Just you wait, I will use your head to obtain that pass to leave the Devil Island, ha ha ha. In an instant. Fire at full blast. The tens of thousands of elite disciples of the 9 major sects summoned their spirit-channeling beasts, rushing towards the Xianyang sect crazily in a black mass. In another place. What just happened? It's the Xianyang sect. I've come to Xianyang sect before, it seems like Boss Long Fei was one step ahead of us. Lei Ju and the others also saw it. LV Shuangchuan looked at the horde of Destiny Divine Hall's army that blotted out the sky and covered the ground, and immediately said, look, the army of Destiny's Hall is here. Fuck, aren't there too many of them? It's all over the sky. Moreover, the ones with the worst cultivations were all in the blue star realm, and they were generally experts in the purple star realm. This was only what they saw. These were not the only truly powerful beauties. The heavy sword on Wang Tai's back hummed, and said, "Let's hurry up." Mu Bing said, "What exactly happened with the beam of light just now?" "Sect Master, please do not let anything happen to you." Everyone rushed over. The Temple of Destiny had a large army. It could be said that the strongest warriors on the entire demonic island were gathered together. Facing such a powerful force, Lei Ju and the others did not retreat, and rushed forward without hesitation. No matter what, as long as it was something I could share with Long Fei, I would do everything I can even for him. He was talking about Long Fei. The feeling of annihilating the entire sect with a single move was overwhelming. But, however, using the myriad yang fission skill once again would be a little painful. It was a type of power that didn't require a cooldown time, but needed a long time to replenish its energy. The power of 10,000 suns. Long Fei, give my Xian Yang sect back to me. Xian Yang ancestor's eyes turned sinister, his fists tightened, the spirit qi around his body became even more violent, and with that, he rushed at Xiong Long Fei. Long Fei's eyes darkened, and said faintly, "I just said it isn't your turn yet, but now. It's time." The metamorphic energy value had already been filled up. He could release them again. That abnormal feeling was simply too wonderful to describe. Not to mention, this Xianyang ancestor was emitting a faint golden light. It was a small boss. It would definitely drop quite a number of things. Seeing Xianyang ancestor rushing over, Long Fei did not dare to be careless. Black Star Peak Realm was not a simple cultivation method. Long Fei had not reached the level of being able to easily insta-kill. However, his level was not as good as Xianyang ancestors. But Long Fei had other powers that he could replace. The elemental energy slash that the system just rewarded can now be used. Long Fei grinned, watched as Xianyang ancestor forced his way in. He kept his devil sword and held the fire dragon knife tightly with both of his hands, then smiled. "Come, my little boss. Come and give me a go." Yuan Qi slash. Chapter 1875, Purple Sun Divine Power. Chapter 1875, Purple Sun Divine Power, using strength to form qi, and using qi to condense and condense. Hurry it up. And it was also at this moment that the million-strong holy power value suddenly fell. A powerful force of energy was released from Long Fei's body. After a short period of brewing, it formed a powerful force of energy, called the Fire Dragon Knife Strike. Shua. The saber qi was like a mountain. It was incredibly heavy. The saber qi carried an incomparable essence qi as it chopped down. He directly flipped Xianyang ancestor, who was charging towards him, onto the ground, and the amount of blood on his head also fell with a swoosh, leaving behind only a little bit of skin and skin. Rumble. A loud sound was heard as he hit the ground. While his sick, take his life. Long Fei did not stop there. The moment he landed, he immediately chased after him. Without waiting for him to get up from the ground, he stepped on his head and shouted, "Old man, you continue being arrogant with your word." Poochie. A mouthful of blood sprayed out. Xianyang ancestor stared straight at Long Fei, and said solemnly, "Long Fei, don't be too complacent. Do you think you can survive today? Ha ha ha. You will definitely die today. Look behind you." Xianyang ancestor looked at the sky, where the sky was blotted out by the war beasts, as well as the elite disciples of the Destiny Hall. 10,000 elites. All assembled. Xianyang ancestor revealed his bloody teeth and laughed, "If I die, Lord Destiny will save me from hell too. What about you? Who can save you? Against God? Long Fei, what qualifications do you have to fight against the gods? You want to change the world, change the rules? Ha ha ha. Ridiculous, extremely laughable. You can't even leave the evil demon island, and you can't even enter the ancient holy battlefield. How dare you try to change the world? Are you qualified?" Xianyang ancestor said one heavy sentence after another. How could a land of the forsaken god be opposed to a god? For thousands of years, only one goddess had managed to break through her shackles. So what if he broke through the shackles and broke the taboo? What was the outcome? He had disappeared completely without a trace. The evil demon island was only a place of abandonment, and the warriors here were all the lowest level existences in the ancient holy battlefield. Even if you were the strongest on the evil demon island, stepping onto the evil demon island would only make you like an ant. Change the world? This was a joke. For every warrior on the demon island, this was impossible. Long Fei looked at Xianyang ancestor and said, "Human lives forever, is it comfortable to be a dog?" Comfortable? You think you're human, but in the eyes of the destiny god, you're just a bunch of dogs, and they're even trash dogs. Do you think he'll let you leave the Devil Island? Do you think that following the god of fate can change everything? I have to say, you are too naive. Back then, Nai Lin was very naive. I never thought that all of you were so naive. I don't know if I can change the world, but at the very least, I won't accept it. Who the hell brought me to the Devil Island? As long as I break through the taboo, I will pay my respects to my ancestors for 18 generations. Long Fei's eyes trembled as she coldly stared at Xianyang ancestor and said, "There is nothing ridiculous in this world. As long as you work hard, even if you go insane, all you have to do is change this world. It would be such a waste of Laozi's expression to waste so much nonsense on you. All right. You're going to die." Long Fei was a little excited. The expression in Xianyang ancestor's eyes tightened, and immediately said, "Long Fei, if you kill me, you will never be able to break the solar array." Long Fei smiled lightly and said, "Isn't that great? They can't even enter." Xianyang ancestor's body started to tremble, and he said, "Long Fei, you will die of fatigue here. Don't kill me, I beg you, don't kill me, anything you want me to do is fine." Everyone was afraid of death. The longer they lived, the more they feared death. Long Fei laughed with interest. "Didn't you believe in the god of fate? Didn't he go to hell to save you? If you're begging me, you might as well beg him." Xianyang ancestor's body trembled even more. He knew clearly in his heart that he was in the eyes of the god of fate. In fact, the god of fate did not even know of his existence. Why did he go to hell to save him? It was absolutely impossible. Go beg. Go beg your god. Let him out. Long Fei shouted word by word, and in the end, he said, "If the fate god dares to come out, this father will make him kneel in front of this father and sing a song of conquest." Ah! A loud roar rang out. Long Fei punched out. The Xianyang ancestor shouted, "Lord Fate God, save me." Ah! A miserable scream. The last bit of HP on Xianyang ancestor's head turned into 0. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Xianyang ancestor for obtaining 20,000 experience, 20,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the profound Yang sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Sun Force. The system sounded out a few times. Only 2 items dropped. A little boss is a little boss. How boring. However, Long Fei looked at the properties of the 2 items, and muttered, "Things are not bad, the profound Yang sword is a holy artifact, but just the power of the sun." There were no excessive descriptions. All right. I like gambling. No matter how much of a transformation a holy artifact has, it is still just a holy artifact. Let's see to what extent this unknown level of scorching sun force you have reached. Long Fei moved. Immerse the power of the sun into the metamorphic energy value. The sun force disappeared from the system, and the 100 metamorphic energy value S also suddenly disappeared. Not long later, the system sounded out once again. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Purple Sun Divine Power. Do you wish to cultivate it? Huh! Long Fei was shocked. Damn, is it a special evolution? Before, it was godly power that has changed, but now, it has changed from strength to godly power. Master System, you sure are awesome. However, this Purple Sun Divine Power, why do I feel like it's a technique from that novel? Is it really that book? Long Fei muttered to himself for a while. After thinking for a bit, he did not think about what kind of technique it was from the novel, and was too lazy to think too much. The idea moved, and said, "Cultivate." Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 10,000 points for cultivating the Purple Sun Divine Power. The reward is also 10,000 points for cultivating the Holy Power value. Skill Path, Purple Sun Divine Power Grade, Spirit, Mutated, Consumption, 1 million Godly Force Description, Purple Sun Divine Power, Purple Flames. Once released, the body will ignite with purple flames, and the warrior will enter a different battle mode. Description: the Purple Sun Divine Power is divided into 3 stages, and each stage is a type of mode. Special hint: if you forcefully activate a skill beyond what your body can handle, your body will explode and die. Rub. So scary. Chapter 1876, Forcefully Breaking the Array. Chapter 1876, Forcefully Breaking the Array, a body exploding cultivation technique. Just this point alone, I know that this cultivation method must be very abnormal. Body implosion? Heh. I might be a little afraid of others, but for me, Long Fei, it's just a small matter. Long Fei laughed. Of course. The god's immortal bead was not able to bring the dead back to life. It has its drawbacks. What if he couldn't revive? Long Fei did not dare to recklessly try the limits of the god's immortal bead. Long Fei. Rumble. With a loud bang, the battle drums outside the solar array shook the sky. The 4 directions were surrounded by war beasts and the elite disciples of the Temple of Destiny. Long Fei's body slightly moved. Shua. He flew into the air and swept his eyes across the tens of thousands of disciples and beasts around him. The corners of his mouth curled up as he smiled and said, "Not bad, you're here to give me experience again. Do you know that I want to level up?" And then, Long Fei shouted out loud, and said, "Why are you calling out to your father?" Zhu Tianmo's eyes turned sinister as a red light flashed across them. He said in a low voice, "Black Star Realm." One of the elders standing beside him immediately said, "He is clearly the Purple Star Realm, how did he break through again in such a short time? So what if he's in the Black Star Realm?" The head elder is a super powerful warrior at the Silver Star Realm. There are only a few of them on the Demon Island. Exactly. So what if Long Fei is strong? This Lu Wanli can only kneel down and beg for mercy. Zhu Tianmo looked at them coldly. The elders immediately shut their mouths. Zhu Tianmo sneered, looked at Long Fei who was inside the solar array, and said, "Long Fei, you're admitting your mistake while kneeling on the ground? Or do you want me to stomp you to the ground and beg for mercy?" While they were talking, Zhu Tianmo glanced at the Xianyang sect in the 10,000 sun array. An empty space. If the solar array wasn't still here, who would believe that this was one of the 10 sects? Zhong Xian panicked. What kind of fortuitous opportunity did he obtain? Zhu Tianmo was shocked in his heart, but he was not afraid of anything, because behind him was the god of fate. In this world, there was no one who could oppose gods, much less fate. Inside the main temple, fate was a god, to control the fate of 100,000 creatures. Therefore, Zhu Tianmo was not afraid. Long Fei laughed, "The minions of the fate god, your masters have all been stepped on by this daddy, and just all of you trashed together isn't enough for this daddy to play around with. Aren't you guys believers in the god of fate? Call him out, I will make him kneel in front of me and sing Conquer, Fate." The person Long Fei wanted to kill the most. Jojo and the others' souls were still in the hands of the destiny god, so when Long Fei thought about what had happened inside the Chaos Realm's tower question of God, the anger in his heart flared up. "How dare you?" Zhu Tianmo bellowed, "Seems like you won't shed tears until you see the coffin." Long Fei immediately said, "That's right, I am being too presumptuous, what can you do? Bite me. Come on in and bite me. Come on. Come the F***K, I will stand here." Long Fei said shamelessly. He originally wanted to break the array, but he discovered that he didn't need to. Someone would help him break the array. Zhu Tianmo's eyes turned sinister and he laughed coldly. "You want to enrage me and break the formation for you, right? Ha ha ha. Long Fei, haven't you not seen your friend, brother, and woman for a long time? I know where they are." Long Fei's gaze tensed up. In that instant, Zhu Tianmo's figure suddenly turned into a ray of silver light, his Silver Star Realm cultivation burst forth, the entire solar array started to shake, and in that moment, rumble. Tens of kilometers away, a small mountain peak exploded. A silver light flashed. One more person and a woman appeared in Zhu Tianmo's hands. Overlord Flower. Long Fei's pupils suddenly shrank. Little Flower. The Overlord Flower's face was pale. They had hidden themselves very well. They knew clearly in their hearts at this moment that they couldn't let Zhu Tianmo and the others find out. But Silver Star Realm was beyond their comprehension. The Overlord Flower said with difficulty, "Long Fei, don't worry about me." Zhu Tianmo laughed sinisterly. "Long Fei, if you continue to be so arrogant, let me see." While speaking, Zhu Tianmo grabbed the Overlord Flower's neck with one hand and raised her up into the air. "Isn't your mouth powerful? Let's see how it goes." Ha ha ha. It was also at this time. Yang Nantian, Wang Tai, LV Shuangquan and the others all rushed out. However, they were instantly blocked by the disciples of the Temple of Destiny. Long Fei. Brother Fei. Long Fei's brows tightened, he did not expect them to come too. Yang Nantian's eyes turned cold, and he said, "We've caused trouble for Long Fei." Long Fei took a step forward and flew to the side of the solar array. He glared at Zhu Tianmo and said sinisterly, "Try touching one of them." Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianmo looked at Long Fei and said, "Yo, angry? Then it seems like this woman is very important to you, right?" Ha ha ha. "I like to see other people suffer the most," Zhu Tianmo said with a playful smile. His two fingers slowly exerted force, and the aura on his body slowly crushed the Overlord Flower. The Overlord Flower was struggling. Zhu Tianmo laughed. "Long Fei, are you feeling good? Must be fun, right?" Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The surrounding people all loudly mocked him. Ding. The distance is not enough. Ding. System notification. The distance is not enough. The blasting fist had a cast distance. If it did not reach that distance, it would not be able to lock onto it. Looking at the Overlord Flower struggling in pain, Long Fei's anger of 100,000 flames burst out from his mind. The Reaper of Hell. Buzz buzz buzz. One by one, the Hell's Reaper was summoned out. Focus on one point, break the array. Without any other methods, he could only break the formation. The power of the 12 Hells Harvest instantly exploded out, forming a powerful shockwave that concentrated at one point, just like a laser piercing through. Long Fei walked up to it step by step. The 12 streams of power forcefully tore a hole through the solar array. The hole was still struggling, and once the strength was retracted, the hole would once again close. This wasn't breaking the formation, this was forcefully tearing it apart. Zhu Tianmo's eyes widened in shock as he thought in his heart, "They really are the Reapers of Hell. I never thought that Long Fei would really subdue them." The solar array can be said to be the #1 formation on the Demon Island, a formation that has been refined for millions of years. No one can break this formation. Who would have thought that the 12 Hell Reapers would actually forcefully tear a hole through it? It's extremely terrifying. His mind was shocked. However, Zhu Tianmo smirked complacently. Because the moment Long Fei came out, the 12 strands of energy would be released and the 12 Hell Reapers would be locked inside the solar array. What use was Long Fei without the Underworld Reaper skill? Chapter 1877, Super Strong Holy General. Chapter 1877, Super Strong Holy General. The Hell's Reaper was Long Fei's powerful fighting strength. Super Killer. If they were trapped in the solar array, then Long Fei's wings would have been severed. A bird with broken wings, could it still fly? Seeing Long Fei walking out of the crevice, Zhu Tianmo laughed complacently. "Long Fei, you are bound to be bound by too many restrictions. You are destined to never be able to become a strong warrior in your life. He isn't worthy of fighting against the God of Fate either." Buzz. The moment Long Fei walked out of the solar array, the formation sealed him up. 12 Hell Reapers was hidden in the array. The Overlord Flower's eyes were blurry with tears. It shook its head and said, "Long Fei, don't worry about me, don't worry about me." Long Fei looked at the Overlord Flower and his tears filled with heartache. He said gently, "You are my woman, How can I not care about you? Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianmo laughed out loud, and said, Long Fei, what else do you have? He's really a brainless person, to actually put the 12 Hell Reapers in a formation. Oh, right. I heard that you have another giant clan warrior, right? Zhu Tianmo laughed complacently, and said, What's the use of a giant clan in exile? Kneel obediently on the ground and beg for forgiveness. Zhu Tianmo sneered. He once thought that Long Fei was very strong, but now it seems that he felt that Long Fei was too weak. Experts shouldn't have so many restrictions. Not to mention a woman, even her own parents were the same. Zhu Tianmo. The reason he was able to become a super expert of the Silver Star realm was because he had severed everything. Wife, child, parents, and brothers had all died under his cold sword. The shackles were severed. His cultivation could only progress crazily if he focused all of his attention on it. Others used 100 years, but he only used 50 years. Thus, when he saw Long Fei imprisoning the 12 Hell Reapers with his strongest fighting strength for the Overlord Flower, he laughed. Long Fei didn't even look at Zhu Tianmo, and said, To deal with you, I don't even need to use Giant Clan. As soon as he finished speaking, Shua, Long Fei's footsteps abruptly advanced, releasing all of his Black Star Realm speed. Buzz. Although it was not able to reach a speed of 500 kilometers in a single thought, it still managed to pull Zhu Tianmo into the range of the blasting fist in an instant. Gudong. 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 The sleeves on his arms combusted, and as if Lu Faizan had just opened them, both his arms turned red, and the power of the blasting fist burst forth in an instant. Ding. Target locked. One with 10 gods. Explode for me. Without any hesitation, he rushed out and was about to kill Zhu Tianmo in an instant. Because he touched Long Fei's bottom line. 10 rays of light burst out from Long Fei's fists, Super Berserk Hurricane Burst Boxing. The 10 beams of light merged into one. It transformed into an extremely strong stream of light that exploded towards Zhu Tianmo. Zhu Tianmo's eyes were opened wide in anger, his pupils shrunk as fast as wheat, his mind becoming tense. Is this your kind of instant death fist technique? His body trembled slightly. He couldn't help but tremble. He heavily swallowed his saliva, suddenly threw the Overlord Flower, and threw it towards the blasting fist. However, the blasting fist was a locking fist technique. Its trajectory would change according to the change in target, and instantly avoid the Overlord Flower, surging towards Zhu Tianmo in an incomparably turbulent manner. Zhu Tianmo retreated quickly, his palms and back covered with cold sweat. He had long known about Long Fei's technique. Every time he appeared, he would instantly kill him, only once. On top of Demon Mountain, Long Fei's blasting fist was broken by the Underworld Reaper. Although he had to pay the price of one arm, the key point was that his blasting fist had been blocked. Seeing the Overlord Flower fall from midair, Long Fei instantly flew over to catch her in his arms, and said softly, It's fine, it's fine. The Overlord Flower was leaning against Long Fei's chest, burying its head in its chest, blaming itself. She made Long Fei worried. She had given Long Fei trouble. Women are used to protect. You don't have to blame yourself. I swear I won't put you in danger again. Long Fei said softly. He didn't know how many times he had said such a vow. But he had never been able to do it. Long Fei also blamed himself in his heart. Ah! Ah! Zhu Tianmo screamed miserably as he watched the blasting fist getting closer and closer to him. He had never seen that kind of power before. Yet it was that kind of power that he did not know about. Ah! Zhu Tianmo shouted loudly, Holy General, save me, Shua. Buzz. A beam of light descended vertically from the sky, and a stream of energy and chi was released like a wave of light, creating a powerful buzzing sound. Boom. Rumble. The impact of the energy wave created a loud rumble, resounding through the entire sky. Long Fei's heart tightened. Another interruption? The blasting fist, locked onto the target, was definitely going to die. However, if it was forcefully interrupted by a super strong ranker in that instant, it would be too late even if the blasting fist could instantly change the trajectory. The system did not sound. There was only one result: the blasting fist was interrupted. Long Fei instantly placed the Overlord flower behind him and said in a low voice, "Hide behind me." Buzz. Light halos spread out, and a 3-meter-tall, extremely ugly monster that looked like a human or beast appeared in front of Zhu Tianmo, blocking his path. It was incomparably thick. Moreover, Long Fei was extremely familiar with this aura. It was the aura of the god of fate's power. Different from the aura of the Wheel of Fortune on these warriors, the aura emitted by this so-called holy general was extremely strong. Just like his true body. Unrivaled power. More importantly, Long Fei's blasting fist was broken at the peak of the 3rd level, but one of the arms of the Underworld Reaper was destroyed. But the holy general in front of him didn't receive the slightest bit of injury, not even the slightest bit. How strong was his defense? Every plane of existence has its own shackles of laws. Unless one is a sovereign, it is impossible for one to surpass them, and the power of the destiny god of the ancient holy battlefield is completely different from what it was in the past. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianmo laughed in an incomparably arrogant manner, as he looked at his own body that was unharmed, and became even more excited. Ha ha ha. This is the Holy General. A Holy General created by the Lord of Fate. You easily blocked your strongest punch, what do you have left? Zhu Tianmo was excited. Moreover, at this moment, Zhu Tianmo looked up into the sky, his eyes filled with absolute piety, and said, "Lord Fate God, descend and bring down all of the Holy General you have created." Buzz. Boom. A beam of light descended and a Holy General stood on the ground. Boom. Another beam of light descended. Boom, boom, boom. A total of 12 Holy Generals. Extremely powerful. Chapter 1878 Hardness, 100,000 Combo. Chapter 1878 Hardness, 100,000 Combo. They were all extremely ugly, like human or animal soldiers. However, there was one thing that mattered. They were tall and sturdy, and their entire bodies radiated with a powerful aura. The other martial artists had the Wheel of Destiny revolving around them, while they covered their entire body with a massive shield of destiny that could be seen with the naked eye. His defense was also extremely powerful. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, did you see that? I was just asking if you saw it. This is the Holy General, an existence that can crush your 12 Hell Reapers for tens of thousands of miles. Zhu Tianmo excitedly laughed out loud. Without the ability to kill with a single punch, Long Fei had lost another arm. The current Long Fei was no longer a threat to him. The people of the Temple of Destiny were all excited as well. Seeing the appearance of the 12 Holy Generals, the reverence towards the God of Destiny increased by a bit. Absolutely. He definitely wouldn't dare to rebel. Long Fei's eyes became tight. He's so damn strong. I can't find any weaknesses. During the 3 years in the Demon Temple, Long Fei could be said to have been reborn. He could see the weaknesses of every person, but in front of the 12 Holy Generals, he could not see anything. Let's give it a try first. Long Fei made up his mind, and said to the Overlord flower behind him, "Don't move recklessly here." As soon as he finished, Long Fei's footsteps moved, a black light shot into the sky as the fire dragon knife in his hand dragged a long flame. In an instant, it arrived in front of a Holy General. A heavy slash. Shua. Rumble. Fire blade chi transformed into a fire dragon roared and slashed at the top of Holy General's head. However, a scarlet letter floated above Holy General's head. Miss. Not only that, Long Fei's hands became numb from the impact and he felt extremely uncomfortable. His fire dragon blade was almost blown away by the impact, and without much thought, it flew back in an instant. Shua, Holy General, did not give chase, but stood quietly in place, not moving at all. The slash just now was like an itch to Holy General. Black Star Realm, super strong fire dragon blade. But it was the MAS, 0 damage. Long Fei's heart immediately tensed up. At the same time, he also became excited. The stronger the boss was, the more excited he became. As long as the boss was strong enough, it would definitely drop something. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, your strength can't even harm the skin of Holy General, right? Zhu Tianmo was incomparably proud, and he had seen the move just now very clearly. Holy General was unscathed, Long Fei's arms were struck numb. He was getting more and more excited. Lord Destiny is truly powerful. 12 women becoming 12 Holy General, no one can match him for creativity. Ha ha ha. The Overlord Flower looked at Long Fei and said, Long Fei, the auras of these Holy General are a bit too cold and sinister. Look at their bodies, even though they're wrapped up in that sort of sinister thing, they seem to be human beings. Long Fei also noticed this. Beneath the hideous appearance, there were a few patches of fair skin. Furthermore, it was bare skin. Was it a human? Long Fei's mind tightened, he instantly wanted to hit Jojo, Chen Chen, Liu Luoshi and the others. If they were also turned into such by the god of fate. Giggle. Long Fei clenched his fists. The joints popped. In that instant. Long Fei said slightly, Little Flower, stand far away. The Overlord Flower replied, he was very clear about her strength. Staying behind would only bring about trouble for Long Fei. Long Fei looked at the 12 Holy Generals and his aura grew heavy. He let out a breath, his eyes tensing up as he locked onto another divine sword, and charged forward. Boom. All the energy in his body exploded. The black-colored flames emitted from his body started to burn crazily. Zhu Tianmo sneered, You overestimate your strength, I didn't attack you earlier, you think I wouldn't attack you this time? 12 Holy Generals, listen up. Kill them all. The moment Zhu Tianmo finished speaking, the 12 Holy Generals did not react immediately. They were not commanded by Zhu Tianmo. Seeing Long Fei rushing towards them, one of the Holy General's eyes moved slightly, and he instantly moved to block Long Fei's way. Energy undulations rippled like waves. It was like an attack that could topple mountains and overturn seas. Long Fei crossed his hands in front of his chest. Boom, 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 boom. With a series of explosive sounds, Long Fei's body explosively retreated. As if the bones in his hands had been broken, his internal organs were all shifting, unable to withstand the pressure, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the power released by the Holy General seemed to be very relaxed and was not their strongest power. Moreover, while his sick, take his life. After sending Long Fei flying with a palm, the Holy General did not stop there. Boom, boom, boom. Both of his arms were shattered, and his entire body felt extremely uncomfortable. Being constantly suppressed and beaten up was a feeling that made Long Fei extremely unhappy. Ah! Xiao Yang! Long Fei roared out, and Xiao Yao, who had already reached level 85, suddenly flew up into the air upon hearing Long Fei's summons. Yi Zichen moved his hands. The heavenly flame surge. Boom, boom. Although it hadn't reached Emperor's flames yet, the heavenly flames had already reached an extremely profound level. The Holy General's body suddenly sank, and the wound on his head quickly healed. Long Fei gasped for breath, with a heavy stomp of his right foot, he rose from the ground and roared out, It's my turn. In an instant. Stepping atop the burning Holy General, he dove down with both fists clenched tightly. Both of his arms turned red, and the dragon-shaped mark on his hands also became even more sinister. Ah! Bang, 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 bang. Without a care for anything else, they attacked each other crazily. Their fists were like a torrential storm. After smashing Holy General from midair to the ground, Long Fei still did not stop. He punched on the head, and each time he punched out, a number would appear at the same time. 3,800 combo attacks. 6,732 combo. 18,000 combo strikes. 35,000 combo. At the same time Long Fei attacked, the other 12 Holy Generals looked at him coldly. They did not intend to help him, as their eyes were ice-cold. Heartless. Zhu Tianmo was stunned, seeing Xiao Yang suddenly casting the heavenly flame, his heart tensed. There's a hidden trump card? At the same time, he was also angrily shouting, Quickly go and help. In that instant. 99,998 combo. 99,999 combo. Huff. 100,000 combo. Long Fei roared towards the sky, the spirit chi on his body suddenly turned sinister. Holy General, right? Was it created by the god of fate? F*CKU, go ahead and explode. Long Fei's fists were like battling axes as they heavily cleaved down. Chapter 1879, Purple Sun, Heavenly Sunlight. Chapter 1879, Purple Sun, Heavenly Sunlight. His two fists exploded, chopping down heavily. It hit Holy General on the head. The last bit of blood on top of Holy General's head also instantly drained. Long Fei became excited. Come on, go ahead and explode. Subduing the 12 Hell Reapers would result in him leveling up to level 12 consecutively. Killing the 12 Holy Generals, wouldn't that mean that he would be promoted by 12 levels as well? Upgrade. Too awesome. Long Fei closed his eyes and listened quietly. He was waiting for the system beep to ring. But, after 3 seconds had passed, the system did not sound out any notifications. At this moment, Yang Nantian suddenly shouted loudly, Long Fei, be careful. Long Fei's eyes opened, and an extremely cold chi rose up from the ground, allowing the Holy General that was killed by Long Fei to come back to life. Furthermore, at this moment, he struck with his palm. Boss. Xiao Yang transformed into a ray of light that rushed over. The flame in his hand went up to the sky and blocked the attack. Rumble. 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 Fiery light filled the sky as a figure flew out like a kite with its string cut, falling from the sky. Long Fei's eyes widened. Xiao Yang. The idea moved. Xiao Yang was immediately recalled. At this moment, Xiao Yang was seriously injured and his life hung by a thread. If he had not blocked this move, then the one who would have fallen to the ground would definitely be Long Fei, and it might not even be the god's immortal bead that would be able to resurrect him. He. Long Fei's teeth were about to break. Xiao Yang had once been his idol and was one of his favorite protagonists in fantasy novels. From the moment he received the rewards, Long Fei had treated him as a brother. Now that he saw how heavily injured he was, moreover, because of his own injuries, Long Fei felt really upset in his heart. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianmo started laughing out loud. He was sweating for the Holy General, but he did not expect it to revive in place. What was going on? Resurrected. And it seems that his strength has increased. Could this be the legendary law of fate? An existence that transcends fate, with no signs of life. Similarly, it has an immortal body. In all of Main Temple, only Lord Destiny can do such a thing. It's too scary. Long live the Lord Destiny. At this moment, over 10,000 disciples of the Destiny Temple kneeled on the ground and shouted in unison, Lord Destiny, eternal immortality, transcending fate. In fact, it was the fate of the Fate Holy General that separated them. There was no life, and at the same time, it was also the immortal body. Of course, this kind of undying body wasn't absolute. This was the power of the 12 Holy Generals. They won't feel any pain. No fear of death. They would not die either, because their bodies were immortal bodies. Far away in the main temple, the god of fate laughed coldly, Long Fei, are you satisfied now? Although it wasn't on the Devil Island. However, the Destiny God had been paying attention to every single move on the Demon Island. From the appearance of Long Fei, to the strange energy fluctuations on the Demon Island, to when the Holy General revived and heavily injured Xiao Yang, he had all witnessed it. This was the feeling. I was almost killed by you in Chaos Realm. However, that's in the Chaos Realm. If it wasn't for the powerful laws of the plane restricting my power, do you think you would have survived? This is the ancient holy battlefield, it's my territory. Watch how I play you to death. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. The Fate God laughed out loud and walked towards a large black box. The box was transparent and there was a fluorescent light floating inside. One of the balls hit the box crazily, like it was going to break through it. The Fate God said with a cold smile, What? Are you angry at me for hurting your sweetheart? Ha ha ha. Don't worry, I will definitely let you all reunite. I have never seen a soul as strong as Long Fei's, or even stronger than his mother's Mu Wanna's soul by a few points. As long as I can get his soul, he. Ha ha ha. The god of fate did not continue. The laughter was arrogant. The huge black box in front of him trembled crazily. The black box was more than 10 kilometers in size, and the light from it was like stars in the sky, hundreds of millions of them. He had mastered the laws of fate for 100,000 planes. However, he was unwilling to only grasp these things. What was the fate of 100,000 creatures? He wanted to control the fate of all living things, including a sovereign. This was his ambition. And Long Fei. He was getting more and more agitated. Xiao Yang's serious injuries were extremely stimulating to him. Zhu Tianmo laughed madly. Long Fei, you can still have any more trump cards you want to use. Brat, today is the end of you. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, you have such a day? At the peak of the Fiend Mountain, you were so arrogant. Long Fei, you can't even beat the Holy General, and you're still trying to fight with the Fate God. Countless sounds of ridicule could be heard. Ah! Long Fei roared, his eyes bloodshot, the power of his entire body changing once again. Purple Sun Divine Power. Open for me. Ding. System notification. The Purple Sun Divine Power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. Ding. System notification. The Purple Sun Divine Power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. Ding. System notification. The Purple Sun Divine Power is too powerful. The player's current cultivation is unable to withstand it. The system continuously sounded out red warning beeps. Black Star Realm. He couldn't bear the release of a cultivation technique. Too strong. Your father wants yours to be too powerful. Long Fei's eyes became sinister, and shouted, "Go and forcefully activate it." Xiao Yang was seriously injured. 12 Hell Reapers was trapped. The Devil Temple was far away from God Rare Sect. Even if the warriors of the Giant Clan came out, they would still not be a match for the Holy General. The same went for the life-snatching scholar of the Flying Crane. The Blasting Fist was in the midst of cooling down. Just as Zhu Tianmo had said, Long Fei had already used up all his trump card. The Purple Sun Divine Power was the only cultivation technique he could rely on. After hearing the system's alarm, Long Fei became even more excited. In that instant, Long Fei's entire body was suddenly wrapped up by the purple flames, and the 1 million points of holy power value suddenly disappeared as well. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. The Purple Sun Divine Power is divided into 3 stages. The power of each realm is extremely different, but the power it contained, however, was incomparably enormous. The Purple Sun Divine Power was Long Fei's last trump card. No matter how much he paid, he would not hesitate. He couldn't take it anymore. To his brother, the one who made a move was still Xiao Yang. If he did not get his revenge, F***CK. I swear I'm not human. Long Fei's current cultivation could not even reach the first stage. He could only use his own profound chi and longevity as a price to forcefully reach the first stage. First stage, Purple Sun Heaven Shine. Chapter 1880 Immortal Body. Chapter 1880 Immortal Body Boom. The purple flames on Long Fei's body suddenly exploded outwards. His eyes. His pupils had also turned into a ball of flame, and they were burning. Strange. Fierce. No one dared to look directly at him. Purple pupil? What is this power? Every part of his body is covered in purple flames. Won't he die from these flames? What is it? Everyone was shocked by Long Fei's sudden change. Zhu Tianmo sneered, and said, "So what if your strength changed again? Holy General does not have any lifespan, so there is no limit to his revival. Long Fei can only get beaten up. What kind of existence was the Holy General?" If he had doubts at the beginning, Zhu Tianmo would now believe without reservation that no one on the Demon Island was a match for the Holy General. Long Fei was naturally not either. Great Clan Elder is right. No matter how much Long Fei changes, with his cultivation realm right there, how strong can he be? Long Fei, you are just making a useless struggle. Hurry up and die. The strength of Long Fei's body became very strong. No matter how strong he was, would he be as strong as a god? Even though the holy general created by the destiny god wasn't a god, he was still a super holy general created by a god. It was a piece of cake for him to crush Long Fei. Long Fei did not speak. Because, at this moment, he felt a power that he had never felt before. Powerful heaven's illumination, all of them were gathered in his eyes. The kind of violet sun burning, the surging power of heaven's will. Long Fei's eyes sank as he stared at the heavily injured holy general. In the blink of an eye, the sky was dark. Holy General's eyes were cold as he stared at Long Fei fearlessly. The instant their eyes met. Rumble. 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 Holy General's body ignited, and purple flames burned crazily. The bloody groove above his head quickly revealed the bottom of his body, but Holy General did not let out a scream. He couldn't feel anything. No pain. No life. He stood where he was and looked at Long Fei. Finally. In less than 10 seconds, his body was burnt to ashes. The moment his health fell to zero, his body was reborn, perfectly intact. Zhu Tianmo excitedly roared, "Ha ha ha! Long Fei, did you see that? Resurrection, woo-ha-ha, Holy General is unrivaled in the world. Just with you, Long Fei? How can he be a match for us?" A glance was all it took to kill him. In an instant, he was resurrected. The power of this damage was off the charts. This kind of power that could revive him in place was extremely powerful. When Zhu Tianmo saw that the Holy General had revived with incomparable excitement, his reverence towards the Lord of the Destiny God became even stronger. The God of Fate controls all fates. Only by believing in the God of Destiny can one obtain an immortal body, or even eternal life. But Holy General did not die, but the purple flames on his body also did not extinguish. This was the power of the purple sun heaven shine. Rumble. 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 Within a few seconds, the Holy General turned into ashes once again. He fell down again. Boom. With a loud sound, the Holy General was resurrected. Once again, it was resurrected at the same place, and the time it took for the god's immortal bead to be revived was even faster than Long Fei's. Unbelievable. Ha ha ha. It has come back to life again. Did you see that? The Holy General has revived again. Long Fei, come again. Zhu Tianmo started to laugh maniacally again. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister, his purple eyes shone with a cold light. There is no such thing as an immortal, even a god would be the same. Everyone has a lifespan limit. Sovereigns are no exception. It is just a ghost beast created by the god of fate. It can't be immortal, nor can it be absolutely immortal. Something must be wrong. The power of the purple sun heaven shine was very strong, very strong. As long as they met eyes with each other, they would be instantly burnt by the purple flames. This purple flame would not extinguish. Even if the Holy General were to die, it would not extinguish. Unless a strong power stopped it, it would never extinguish. And because he was so powerful, Long Fei's cultivation could not withstand the first level of power of the purple sun divine power. But now, infinite burn, infinite death. The Holy General resurrected without end. How could this continue? If they couldn't kill him, what was the point in using all of their strength? Rumble, Holy General was burned into ashes once again and resurrected in an instant. It was as good as ever without any changes. Long Fei observed every detail. However, he did not find any problems. They couldn't be killed. They just couldn't kill him. Zhu Tianmo laughed out loud and said, "Long Fei, they are indestructible bodies created by Lord Destiny. No amount of power can kill them, it's the same even if they turn into ashes." Scared? Ha ha ha. Seeing Long Fei's expression, which was not locked tight and had no solution, Zhu Tianmo could not help but laugh complacently. How could this be? Why? Is there really an immortal body in this world? Why can't I kill him even after killing so many times? Were they turned into ashes already? Lan Ya frowned. They looked at everything that was happening in the distance and were extremely puzzled. Wang Tai looked into the sky and said faintly, "Perhaps. This is probably the world controlled by God." Lei Ju said, "I don't care who controls this world. I only believe that there is no one in this world who can't die, even the destiny god will die. Otherwise, why would the ancient holy battlefield exist? Why is main temple afraid of losing? Because, once the ancient holy battlefield's forces lose, they would be eliminated, and they would die. There must be a problem. Yang Nantian said, but what's the problem? Mu Bing looked at Long Fei and muttered, Sect Master won't be able to hold on for long, so the purple flames on his body are burning his vitality and essence. If this goes on for too long, he'll die. What should we do? What do we do now? He was incomparably frantic. It was just as Mu Bing said. Long Fei forcefully activated the purple sun divine power using his own vitality and life force as its foundation. His lifespan was rapidly decreasing, and once his lifespan ran out, he would die. This kind of death was not something that the god's immortal bead could revive. Suddenly, Long Fei thought of all these. It's not like these holy general have no longevity. It's because their main body isn't here at all. They are just a repellent, with an indestructible lifespan and an undead body. This is the power that the fate god created for them. I got it. In that instant, Long Fei suddenly understood. The idea suddenly sent a sound transmission to Yang Nantian and the others, and said, retreat. At this moment, the other 11 Holy General seemed to know what Long Fei was thinking about. Their bodies slightly moved, instantly sealing off all of Long Fei's escape route. Zhu Tianmo laughed coldly. You want to escape? There's no way. Chapter 1881, The Realm of Absolute Killing. Chapter 1881, The Realm of Absolute Killing. His main body was no more, and his longevity was indestructible. Destiny doesn't die. This was the reason why the Holy General resurrected without end. Even if Long Fei killed himself, he would not be able to kill them. However, other than being powerful and immortal, the Holy General had also been watching Long Fei's every move. When he sent a sound transmission to Yang Nantian and the others, the Holy General had already intercepted it. Buzz, buzz, buzz. One Holy General after another pulled Long Fei back, forming a circle. The auras of the 11 Holy General were linked together and formed an inescapable net. You want to escape? Heh. Long Fei, you won't be able to escape this time. Zhu Tianmo sneered. Zhu Tianmo slightly shouted out, and said, surround him. The 10,000 Fate Temple's elites and beasts instantly surrounded Long Fei, unable to get even a drop of water to leak out. The inner 3 levels, the outer 3 levels. It could be said that it was an inescapable trap, a place where even wings could not escape. This is bad. Boss Long Fei is surrounded. Then what are we waiting for? Let's kill our way over. The Overlord Flower turned its head to look at Long Fei, who was trapped. Yang Nantian pulled Long Fei and said, no, we will only add to his troubles by going over. We should trust him at this time. The Overlord Flower stared at Yang Nantian and said, Yang Nantian, what do you mean? Over 10 Holy General along with over 10,000 elite disciples of the Destiny Hall, do you want to watch Long Fei die here? Was it because Long Fei humiliated you back then and killed Nai Lin that you had always harbored such hatred in your heart? Seeing Long Fei being surrounded, the Overlord Flower had already lost its reason. LV Shuangchuan immediately said, Senior sister, don't speak nonsense. Wang Tai also said solemnly, Junior sister apprentice, you have passed. Yang Nantian laughed bitterly and said, believe in Long Fei. If we go, it will only cause him to fall into a passive state. I don't care what you think of me, I definitely won't let you go to Long Fei's side. His heart was in pain. But when he had made his choice at the peak of the Fiend Mountain, he hadn't changed. The Overlord Flower's words were unpleasant to hear, but he could understand it. Similarly, he also wanted to rush to Long Fei's side and kill him, but if he did, all of them would have died here. Wang Tai said, Brother Yang is right, let's go quickly. At this moment, Long Fei roared out once again, all of you, quickly leave. LV Shuangchuan said, Senior sister, let's go. Yang Nantian said, I will be the villain. Suddenly, with a sudden movement, he knocked the Overlord Flower out and carried it as he flew out with large strides. Everyone shrank back. Great Clan Elder, Yang Nantian and the rest escaped. Zhu Tianmo laughed coldly, and said, "Those ants are not a threat. As long as we capture Long Fei, everything will be fine." Now, Long Fei was like a turtle in a cloud, he could not escape at all. The purple flames on Long Fei's body was still burning. Looking at the 11 holy generals and the tens of thousands of elites, he sighed in his heart, "Damn, what a pity." Zhu Tianmo sneered and said, "What a pity. What's a pity? Long Fei, is it a pity that you're going to die?" Long Fei laughed, "It is indeed a pity, but it is only a matter of time. Go back and tell your master that I, Long Fei, will definitely come to the main temple and pay respects to all 18 generations of his ancestors." As soon as he finished speaking, Long Fei moved. Boom! With a loud sound, the flying crane broke through the air and flew out. Long Fei did not dare to retrieve the purple sun divine power on his body. He was worried that if he did, his body would not be able to withstand it. The flying crane cried out. Shua! He flew into the air. Flying crane, the #1 war beast on the demonic island. It was also the first speed war beast. Zhu Tianmo was shocked, he roared, "Don't let him escape." Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 11 holy generals suddenly moved and once again blocked off the flying crane's path in the air. Crap! Long Fei's heart sank. The life-snatching scholar blocked in front of Long Fei. A sword pierced through the air. In that instant, the 9 heavens and the 10 earth trembled. Endless killing intent surged. One of the clan elders was shocked, 9 days and 10 places killing space. This is probably the 9th stage of the 9 days and 10 places killing space, the killing realm. Killing realm? Impossible. In the entire God Rare sect, no one has cultivated to such a high level. This is a cultivation technique passed down from the flying goddess, and no one has cultivated to such a high level in the God Rare sect. There is a person who has reached this level of cultivation. She was one of the disciples in the God Rare sect and was also the only disciple. She was also the person who brought the God Rare sect to the head of the 10 sects later on. Nicknamed Destroyer. Impossible, that was 1,000 years ago. Even a powerful warrior at the peak of the Devil Island wouldn't be able to live past 1,000 years. It's impossible for him to be trying to take his life. Zhu Tianmo frowned. There were too many mysterious rankers in the God Rare sect, especially during the time of the Flying Goddess. It could be said that all of the rankers on the Demon Island were in the God Rare sect. Life-stealing was one of them. Furthermore, he was a sword genius and the first person to train in the 9 days and 10 places killing space after the Goddess of Heaven and Earth. However, he was someone from 1,000 years ago, so it was impossible for him to appear here. No matter who he is, even if he wants to take my life, so what? He is also not a match for Holy General. Zhu Tianmo roared, and chased after her with all his strength. At this moment, he also felt the 10 great killing intents in the sky, as if his life was withering. This feeling. This was the killing intent. Time seemed to be forbidden in this space. Everything was controlled by this killing intent. Long Fei's mind was in shock. He knew that the Lifestealer scholar was very strong, but he did not expect him to be this strong. Listening to the discussions around him, his heart tightened even more. Others didn't believe that he was taking his life. However, Long Fei believed her. Because he was his mother's disciple. He was beginning to understand why she had risked her life to save him at all times. Now he finally understood everything. Long Fei's heart was incomparably moved. Mother. Boom. 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 In an instant, a crazed explosion sounded from within the 9 days and 10 places killing space. All those who entered killing interspace were instantly killed. But 11 Holy General was safe and sound. All the powerful attacks struck their bodies, causing countless of critical injuries, but they could not feel any pain. 11 palm strikes came crushing down. Long Fei turned his head to look at the life-snatching scholar, and suddenly shouted out, "Scholar, F***CK. Your ancestor." Ah! Long Fei had already escaped, but seeing the 11 huge palms striking the life-snatching scholar's body, he did not have the time to care about that anymore. He turned around and dashed back. Purple Sun Divine Power, second stage, open for me. Chapter 1882, second level, Purple Sun Buddha. Chapter 1882, second level, Purple Sun Buddha. The Holy General was too strong. With 11 powerful palm strikes hacking down, there was no chance for the life-snatching scholar to survive. He would die. Once the life-stealer scholar appeared, he would be prepared for it. 1,000 years of waiting. The seal of memory. The seal of time, to him, was precisely for the sake of waiting for Long Fei's appearance. Long Fei appeared. He promised the heavenly goddess that he would do everything in his power to protect her. Before this, he thought that someone was controlling his consciousness and wanted him to protect Long Fei. However, when he entered the underground palace and saw everything in the Hall of Immortals, he knew that this consciousness was something that he had planted 1,000 years ago. Long Fei was the young master. Even if he had to sacrifice his life, he had to protect Long Fei. No matter how powerful the Holy General was, or how powerful the Temple of Destiny's army was, he was not afraid. The 9 days and 10 places killing space killed thousands of war beasts and disciples of the Temple of Destiny, but they did not kill Holy General. At that moment, they knew they were going to die. But he did not regret it. Seeing Long Fei's sudden return, his eyes narrowed and he shouted, "Young master, no." When Long Fei returned, all that he had done was for nothing. Boom. The purple flames on Long Fei's body rose crazily, and with every step he took, he created thunderous explosions while stepping on the spatial fragments. The purple flames on his entire body were like hell flames. Second stage of the Purple Sun Divine Power, Purple Sun Buddha. Open for me, he roared. Ding. System notification. Player's cultivation is too low, unable to withstand second stage of Purple Sun Divine Power. Ding. Without waiting for the system's voice, Long Fei shouted in fury, "I'm going to bite your 8 generations of ancestors, activate it forcefully." What can't be endured? Wasn't it just burning profound chi and longevity? If he couldn't even protect his own brother, then what was the use of using so much of his lifespan? Not to mention, the life-snatching scholar had a special meaning to Long Fei. He could die for himself. Long Fei was the same. Rumble. With a roar in the sky, a ray of holy light of the violet sun descended from the sky, directly landing on Long Fei's body. Huge. Terrifying. A peerless existence. Hoo 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 hoo. Hoo 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 hoo. Long Fei gasped for breath like an ox. His eyes, nose, mouth and ears were all leaking blood, causing him to bleed from all 7 apertures. However, for his brother, Long Fei was not afraid. The Purple Sun Buddha fell. Boom. Long Fei blocked in front of the life-snatching scholar, blocking all 11 of the Holy General's palms, and was completely unharmed. The life-snatching scholar said solemnly, "Young lord, you shouldn't have come back." Long Fei grinned. "Before I agree, you are not allowed to die for me. Do you understand?" The life-snatching scholar looked at Long Fei and saw his resolute eyes. That kind of fearless expression was truly the same as the flying heaven goddess back then. However, the goddess of sky had never been in such a desperate situation before. And Long Fei, it was as if his entire body was about to explode. The life-snatching scholar's heart tightened. Ju Tianmo laughed loudly, "Ha ha ha. Long Fei, I have thought too highly of you. Who would have known that you were such a brainless person, running away and coming back here? Ha ha ha. You really have a lot of ties." Relying on the speed of the flying crane, Long Fei could have escaped. However, Ju Tianmo never thought that Long Fei would actually come back. Isn't this courting death? Grand Elder, what's that huge deity statue above his head? Who cares what he is, everything in front of Holy General is trash. That's right, look at how miserable the current Long Fei is. He's bleeding from all 7 orifices, and he won't be able to hold on for long. Not just blood. Every single pore in Long Fei's body seemed to be splitting apart as his muscles, veins, blood, and organs, even his heart, which was protected by the god's immortal bead, began to flutter and crack. The Purple Sun Divine Power had already exceeded the limits of Long Fei's body. Even with his profound chi, he couldn't sustain the burning of his life force. This power was too strong. Hoo. Huff, puff, huff. Long Fei panted like an ox, his body constantly trembling. Looking at the 11th Holy General, Long Fei shouted, "All of you, King come. Go for your father. Come on." As soon as he finished, 11 Holy Generals moved in unison. Fast. It was extremely fast. It could not be described with words. The lifesteal scholar's eyes darkened as he said, "Young master." Not waiting for him to finish, Long Fei suddenly disappeared as well. Long Fei's speed was even faster than theirs. With one step, the Tathagata Buddha above their heads struck down with his palm. Rumble. The violet sun shone brightly. A huge palm came crashing down. It was like a layer of sky crushing down. Rumble. 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 One move. They directly blasted the 11 Holy Generals down from the sky and directly exploded on the ground, forming a deep crater from 11 to several thousand meters deep and causing the entire ground to tremble. The mountain range was moving. It went berserk. Zhu Tianmo's face paled, his state of mind felt as though it was about to shatter. Everyone was dumbstruck. The strength of the palm strike just now had reached an unimaginable level. Terrifying. Too fierce. Too abnormal. Many disciples were so frightened that they vomited blood and fell from the sky. This power. He defeated 11 Holy Generals in one move. Is this an illusion? Am I seeing things? My God. Fear arose in his heart as Zhu Tianmo's body trembled uncontrollably. He was an expert of the Silver Star realm, but in front of the current Long Fei, he was as insignificant as an ant. If that force had hit him, there was no doubt about it. He would definitely die. At this moment, the first thing he thought of in his heart was flee. However, when he was preparing to escape, the Tathagata divine statue above Long Fei's head was shaking and distorting, and even Long Fei was unable to take it anymore, spitting out a mouthful of blood with a face as pale as paper. Limit. Long Fei had already exceeded the limit of what he could endure. The limit of the limit. But, right now, he really could not endure it. Even with the strength of the peak realm of Venus, he might not be able to endure the pain he was in right now. Ah! Long Fei roared, the deity statue seemed to have become more solid, it bellowed out loud, "Damn it, who else is there?" Poochie. Another mouthful of blood sprayed out. At the same time, the 11 Holy Generals who were struck into the core of the earth by Long Fei began to revive. Long Fei's face tensed up. Even the purple sun Buddha was not enough to kill Holy General. This time, it was really terrible. He couldn't take it anymore either. He could feel that his lifespan was running out. He couldn't hold on any longer. He really couldn't take it anymore. Chapter 1883 Long Fei's Choice. Chapter 1883 Long Fei's Choice. After using all his trump cards, the remaining strength was definitely not enough to contend against the infinitely resurrected 12 Holy Generals. Moreover, Long Fei could not release anything in his current state. He was bleeding from all 7 orifices, and his entire body was being crushed by an unbearable pressure. Although he had been forcibly enduring it, but he really couldn't take it anymore. The purple sun Buddha was indeed strong, but it still could not kill the nerves. If they don't find their true forms, they will never die. Wang. Crack. The purple sun Buddha above Long Fei's head continued to distort and deform. The power of Buddha had already started to disappear. Its speed was like a dam releasing water. Was completely out of Long Fei's control. Young lord. The life-snatching scholar spoke with a deep voice. Long Fei said, "I can't leave. This might be the calamity that I had encountered in the ancient holy battlefield. Hurry up and escape with your life. Don't worry about me, I'll be back." Tribulation. The last time he was in the palace, he was not in any danger. Later, Long Fei found out that it was not considered his misfortune in the ancient holy battlefield at all. What about this time? Could it be? His father had predicted that he would face a great calamity in the ancient holy battlefield. However, he did not say that he would be able to make it through. Even if he couldn't, Long Fei wasn't afraid, because he still had a clone in the Chaos Realm. If he was given a few years, he would be able to break through the shackles and descend upon the Chaos Realm again as a magic body. So what if he died? Using the power of God's suffering force and God's steel stone to fuse with the God's bone taboo to create a magic body, he was Long Fei's last path of retreat. Thus, after entering the ancient holy battlefield, he was fearless. Dead. He still had another body. The life-snatching scholar did not move and only said slightly, "The reason why I've waited 1,000 years for you is to protect your life. Even if I was born for you, I would still die for you." This was his mission. This mission had been branded into his life from the moment he was born. That was why he was able to meet Long Fei's mother. Long Fei shouted, "What do you mean die for me? If you take me as your young master, leave right now." The life-snatching scholar remained unmoved. He looked at Long Fei and said softly, "Young master, I won't allow anyone to harm you." And then, his eyes were incomparably firm. He was determined to make a strong choice. Long Fei's heart trembled, he felt that something bad was going to happen. At this moment, boom! An explosion occurred in the depths of the earth as a figure of light rose up from the ground and flew into the air. Buzz! The energy exploded, forming a powerful shockwave that covered the entire sky. Holy General resurrected. He once again stood in front of Long Fei, and this time, the aura of power was a bit stronger than before. The energy of destiny was even thicker, and two ice-cold eyes were staring straight at Long Fei. Boom! 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 The sound of earth exploding could be heard one after another. Holy General after another shot out from the depths of the ground, landing in midair. The 11 Holy Generals surrounded Long Fei once again. Zhu Tianmo laughed out loud, "They have been resurrected, they have all been revived, ha ha ha. Long Fei, let's see how else you can be arrogant. Not only have they revived, their powers have become even stronger. Look at Long Fei, he can't hold on any longer. The Buddha statue above his head has become thinner, and no longer has any signs of strength. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, your time is up." Zhu Tianmo was almost shaken to death by Long Fei's purple sun Buddha. However, the revival of the Holy General made them even more excited. Holy General. Unstoppable. The infinite revival stage was invincible on the demonic island. Prove it again. This world was controlled by the gods, who could fight against them? No one. Long Fei looked at the 12 holy generals sinisterly, his brows knitted together. His holy power value was about to run out, and once his holy power value was used up, the aura of the purple sun Buddha would completely disappear. Suddenly, the aura on life-snatching fist moved. It was also at this time. Long Fei frowned and reacted immediately. He grabbed onto his life and said, "I do not need anyone to die for me, you too." He wanted to take his life and self-destruct. As long as he could grab hold of 12 holy generals, Long Fei would have a chance to escape. But he was suddenly pulled back by Long Fei. The life-snatching scholar said, "Young lord, I." Long Fei shouted, "Don't think I don't know what you want to do. I already said, I do not need anyone to die for me, I do not care about your mission. Since I am your young master, then I am your current master." The life-snatching scholar was stunned. "Young master, I don't regret doing anything for you." "I will regret it." Long Fei stared at him. The life-snatching scholar had been given by his mother to boast of, and not as cannon fodder for him to die for. The life-snatching scholar said, "Young master, you've seen the current situation. If I don't die, you won't be able to escape." He was prepared to die. Long Fei said, "I have never thought of escaping, moreover, I have already thought of a countermeasure, and, if I can't escape, you can." While they were talking, Long Fei grabbed the life-snatching scholar's hand, exploding the last bit of purple sun Buddha and directly throwing him out of the encirclement. He shouted, "Run!" Whoosh! Rumble! The life-steal scholar was incomparably fast, and he did not even have time to react. In an instant, he flew out a few thousand kilometers. After doing all this, the chi around Long Fei's body suddenly dropped, all his holy power value were exhausted, the purple sun Buddha disappeared, and his body could no longer hold on as he fell from the sky. Bam! Boom! He heavily smashed onto the ground, black blood continuously gushing out of his mouth. His health point was decreasing, and even if Holy General didn't kill him now, his health point would probably fall out of him as well. Am I going to die? The corner of Long Fei's mouth curled up slightly. With a gentle smile, he muttered, I will come back again. I swear. I will definitely come back. Long Fei's heart sank even more. This trip to ancient holy battlefield was about to end, but he did not even know where the ancient holy battlefield was. That's the hardest part. If he wanted to change the laws of the world, it's not that easy. Change the world? It was too difficult. Boom, boom, boom. One after another, the Holy General landed and coldly looked at Long Fei. At this time, Zhu Tianmo laughed complacently. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, have you become a dead dog now? In the end, you actually chose to save your servants. I have to say, you're a brainless person. Now prepare to die. 12 holy generals took a step forward. At this moment, a simple sentence came out, Amitabha. An old monk walked out from the darkness. Chapter 1884 The Time Controller. Chapter 1884 The Time Controller. Amitabha. With that light sentence, the 12 holy generals suddenly stopped. Their expressions also changed drastically, as if they had felt an incomparably powerful force threatening them. He stopped. 12 pairs of eyes focused on the old monk that walked out of the darkness. Long Fei laid on the ground with his face turned, looking at the old monk that was slowly walking out. He muttered, Sweeping monk? You. What are you doing here? Get out of here. One of the 2 old monks who were guarding Devil Temple. As for their names, Long Fei did not even know them, but Long Fei liked to call them Sweeping Monk. How strong was he? Long Fei didn't know. No one knew. However, Long Fei knew one thing. An old monk that could guard the Devil Temple for 1,000 years, he was already extremely powerful just by being able to live for 1,000 years. However, no matter how strong they were, it was useless. If they did not kill the 12 holy generals, they would not die. Where did this monk come from? Get the hell out of my way. An elder of the Destiny God Palace shouted. He landed a step in front of the old monk and waited for the old monk's reaction before kicking him. However, 10% of a second before the kick landed on the old monk's body, it suddenly became empty. That elder staggered and almost fell to the ground. At this time, the old monk was already standing behind him, continuing to walk forward. It was as if nothing had happened. How preposterous. You old thing, go to hell. As soon as he finished, a cold sword came out and pierced towards the back of the old monk's head. A cold light flashed and the sword intent was like lightning. It was extremely fast. However, the strange scene occurred again. The old monk returned to his original position, and as if nothing had happened, he stood behind the elder and slowly walked forward. Everyone around was dumbfounded. Was this speed? Or a demonic art? He didn't understand at all. Long Fei blinked his eyes, and thought, damn it, what is that? Was it an illusion? That's not right. It's impossible for all of us to see an illusion. What's that? The feeling Long Fei got was that time was suddenly fast forward, and then, it suddenly came back. What kind of power was this? It was hard for people to understand. Zhu Tianmo frowned, his eyes became cold as he coldly asked, Monk, what are you trying to do? The old monk clasped his hands together and said, I'm here to save him. Zhu Tianmo squinted, and asked, Save who? The old monk's eyes were empty, his face did not have any expression, looked at Long Fei who was on the ground and said, Him. Zhu Tianmo said coldly, Do you know who we are? Do you know what happens when you go against God? Don't think that just because you're a monk guarding the Devil Temple that you're amazing. In front of a god, you aren't even a piece of dog shit. He had also been to the Devil Temple. Thus, he recognized the old monk at a glance. The old monk had no expression on his face as he said, There is no God in this world. The so-called God is just the fear in your heart. As long as you can get rid of these fears, you can. Without waiting for the old monk to finish speaking, Ju Tianmo shouted, "Stop with the bullshit. I think you have lived for more than 1,000 years, an old thing like you should treasure your own life." The old monk continued to walk forward and asked, "And what is life?" "That is just a tiny part of my lifespan, right?" He slowly walked forward. There was no aura. It was very calm. This feeling was like that of an otherworldly expert. "Great clan elder, why are you wasting time with him? Kill him." "Yes. Isn't it just the Devil Temple guarding the door? Now that we have the Destiny God Palace, the Devil Temple is nothing. Old fellow, you still dare to save people in front of us? Kill him." A few of the young elders' eyes were filled with killing intent. Ju Tianmo smiled slightly. "Did you hear what they said? As long as I give the order, they will kill you." There were holy general around, they wanted to save him. "Can you do it?" The old monk said, "Whether you do it or not, it all depends on one word. This word is called do." Ju Tianmo's face turned sinister as he shouted, "You refuse a toast and eat a forfeit. I think you've lived enough." As soon as he finished, a dozen Black Star Realm powerhouse rushed towards the old monk in unison. They all displayed their killing moves. 12 holy generals watched coldly, and did not make a move. Their eyes were Destiny God's eyes. The moment they see the scene, they would immediately respond to Destiny God. A dozen or so powerhouses rushed over. The old monk still had the expression of an oil lamp withered, his 2 eyes empty, his spirit lifeless, his emaciated body lightly walking forward. He did not look at the powerhouse rushing towards him. It was as if everything had nothing to do with him. Drip, drip, drip. 3 seconds passed, and all of the powerhouse's killing moves failed. At the same time, the old monk did nothing, but he walked out from the encirclement. Calm. His eyes were empty. Long Fei was dumbfounded. Awesome. Too awesome. This is the real Tiger Man. This is the highest realm of posturing. He really did not think that the old monk could be this powerful. He looked like he would fall down from the wind, but he was deeply hidden. He was truly an otherworldly expert. The dozen or so powerhouses that failed were incomparably enraged. He turned around and moved. He attacked once again. This time, it was even more ferocious. "Old monk, go to hell. Let's see where you can hide this time. Old man, I don't believe that I can't kill you." Boom. A dozen or so attacks fell in unison. Time seemed to flow slower than usual. Drip, drip, drip. After 3 seconds of silence, the old monk returned to his original position. It was as if the 2 previous attacks had never happened. Ghost, ghost. This monk knows a demonic art. What's going on? Are you a human or a ghost? Not only them dozens of powerhouses, Long Fei was also wondering if the old monk was a human or a ghost. Time reset. This is impossible, unless... Suddenly, Long Fei looked at the old monk, his heart fiercely shocked. Could it be? Is he like his mother, comprehending the profound mysteries of time laws? This was the only explanation. The old monk did not use any techniques, nor did he have any speed. He was like the controller of time. This power. Too terrifying. Unimaginable terror. Ju Tianmo's expression changed, looked at the 12 holy generals and said, "Lord Holy General, it's your turn to take action." Chapter 1885, Such a Pervert. Chapter 1885, Such a pervert. He played with it in the middle of his applause. He wasn't a match at all. If they continued to play, those people would go crazy. They couldn't see what kind of power it was. Ju Tianmo knew clearly. The Devil Temple had 100,000 inheritance power. The old monk was the temple keeper. He must also have some kind of inheritance power. Very strong. Since they were not a match for the holy general, they could only send him out. Ju Tianmo's voice fell. 12 holy generals' body slightly moved. They did not attack the old monk, but rather, all of them suddenly rushed towards Long Fei. It was extremely fast. Ju Tianmo's eyes flashed, and he said excitedly, "That's right, old monk, didn't you say you want to save people? Then we shall kill Long Fei first." Right now, Long Fei was like a fish on a chopping block, waiting to be slaughtered. His holy power value had all been used up. His health point was declining. Right now, he didn't even have the strength to climb up from the ground. He felt extremely uncomfortable. Seeing the 12 holy generals rushing towards him, Long Fei's expression tensed up, but he did not think of death in his heart. He felt that death was very far away from him. Because the power of time that the sweeping monks control. Boom. Boom. With a step forward, he flew forward. At the same time, 12 holy generals made his move, and slashed out towards Long Fei. At this moment, the old monk walked forward unhurriedly, as if everything that had happened had nothing to do with him. Zhu Tianmo laughed loudly, ha ha ha. Old monk, Long Fei is going to die. Save him. Save the ghost, ha ha ha. The 12 holy generals made his move at the same time, so fast that it made one's hair stand on end. It was impossible. It's too late. Zhu Tianmo watched as the old monk walked forward slowly. He laughed even more proudly, Long Fei, you're dead, ha ha ha. But just as the 12 holy generals' attack landed, buzz, a strange power space suddenly shot out. It completely enveloped the entire 12 holy generals. At this moment, Zhu Tianmo laughed crazily with his mouth wide open. The surrounding disciples of the Destiny God Palace were laughing complacently, mocking Long Fei as he was about to die and also mocking the old monk as he walked slowly and unhurriedly. The 12 holy generals was floating in the air. They were like a wooden statue that had been nailed down. Their eyes were ice cold and the aura exuded from their bodies was strong. As Long Fei laid on the ground, he felt this strange energy space, and the corner of his mouth curled up. He laughed excitedly, the time laws. The time laws that my mother comprehended. Drip, drip, drip. Another 3 seconds passed. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. One figure after another shot back, landing back in their original position. Everyone's laughter disappeared. Everything that had happened just now seemed as though it had never happened. Zhu Tianmo looked at 12 holy generals who had returned to his original position, rubbed his eyes, and muttered to himself. Just now. What just happened? The people around him also had the same stupefied expression. It happened. Why did he return to his original position? Moreover, most importantly, even the 12 holy generals was unable to break through this barrier. It was hard to imagine. Great Elder, I clearly saw 12 holy generals attack Long Fei just now. Why did he return to his original spot? We all saw it. Why? Have we all hallucinated? Or are we all blind? His scalp went numb. It was impossible to explain such a thing, and he didn't understand it at all. At the same time, the old monk slowly walked to Long Fei's side. Everyone returned to their original places, except for the old monk. He was constantly walking, and was not restricted in the slightest. The old monk looked at Long Fei who was on the ground and took out a pellet from his bosom. This is the pellet that the Tian Shu master gave you. The beans were as big as beans. It was dark. He could not feel any spiritual energy surging within him. However, Long Fei didn't care that much and swallowed it down. When the spirit pellet entered his body, a strong power exploded out immediately. Long Fei felt a type of power that was baptized by the Holy Buddha expanding in his body, covering every part of his body. Long Fei had never seen this kind of pill before. His body was filled with Buddhist light. It was warm and comfortable. Sweeping monk is only a person who guards Devil Temple, then how strong are the words of Tian Shu-s? Long Fei's heart tightened. What the F***K? Even the doorman was so abnormally strong. Then what about the people in Devil Temple? Long Fei was overwhelmed with shock. It was also at this time. Sweeping monk pressed his palm against Long Fei's back and said lightly, "Go to sleep." A thick and heavy wave of energy entered Long Fei's body, and the consciousness in his body suddenly shrank back. The words coming from his entire body felt extremely comfortable, and in this moment of comfort, Long Fei instantly fell asleep. And then, Sweeping monk helped Long Fei up, then turned to Ju Tianmo and said, Amitabha. Ju Tianmo was shocked, and couldn't help but take half a step back. His body trembled slightly as he said, You can't take him away. We can't let him take Long Fei away. Long Fei is someone that the god of destiny wants. However, no one dared to step forward. The people from the Destiny God Hall looked at the old monk as if they were looking at a ghost. Ju Tianmo coldly snorted, You trash, go on up for me. Still no one caught up. At this time, the holy general moved once again. Ju Tianmo saw a glimmer of hope, and said, Lord Immortal Sword, kill them all. 12 holy generals moved. However, at this moment, 12 holy generals uncontrollably returned to his original position and was completely unable to move. It was like a dream. Ju Tianmo's scalp was also numb. He saw the old monk support Long Fei as he walked step by step into the darkness, and watched on helplessly, but there was nothing they could do. This feeling was too unbearable. The 12 holy generals continuously tried and continuously returned to the starting point. It was a nightmare. The old monk supported Long Fei and disappeared. Ju Tianmo's body was paralyzed as he fell to the ground. Is he a human or a ghost? Great Elder, Long Fei has left, but the 12 Hell Reapers is still in the solar array. According to Long Fei's personality, he will definitely come back to save them. As long as we rearrange everything, I don't believe that we won't be able to capture him. Not waiting for him to finish. From within the darkness, a ray of light directly flew towards the solar array. Rumble. The great battle of 10,000 sun was immediately shattered into pieces. The 12 Hell Reapers turned into 12 rays of light and disappeared into the darkness. This time, all of the elders were paralyzed as they sat on the ground with foolish expressions on their faces. Especially Ju Tianmo. Just a big idiot. Main temple, his residence. His eyes slightly contracted, his fists clenched, his joints popping out. Unexpectedly, the people of Holy Buddhahood are actually also there. He actually grasped a tiny bit of the power of time. Mu Wana, looks like I have really underestimated you back then. But don't worry. I was able to make you disappear all those years ago, and now, I can also make your son disappear. Chapter 1886, Half of Son of God's Body. Chapter 1886, Half of Son of God's Body. The Holy Buddhahood came from the distant primordial region. No one knew if he existed or not. However, to someone like the Destiny God who stood at the peak of 100,000 planes, he knew things that many people did not. For example, Mu Wana had been to the legendary Holy Buddhahood before. As for what he had obtained, Destiny God was also not clear. However, whatever she had obtained, the outcome would never change, because Mu Wana had already disappeared from this world, and even after returning from the Holy Buddhahood, she still hadn't changed anything. 1,000 years later, Long Fei appeared. What could he change? Mother can't change the reality, the son can't change. Because this was fate. Outside God Rare Sect. Yang Nantian and the rest had all come, and were waiting outside the temple anxiously. How is it? How is it? Boss, why hasn't he come out yet? What's going on? Old monk, can't you say something? Just what's going on? It's been 3 days already, even if there's something you want to tell us. Bawang Hua was so anxious that she was about to cry. In the distance. At that moment, Long Fei threw him out of the encirclement, and he felt as if he had lost everything. The reason he lived for 1,000 years was precisely to protect Long Fei. But in the end, his heart was in pain, in pain. Inwardly, he was blaming himself. If anything happened to Long Fei, he would go all out to seek revenge. After the old monk brought Long Fei back, he sent him into the temple. Without saying a word, their eyes became empty and they waited expressionlessly. Just like the Bawang Hua and the others, the two of them were also worried for Long Fei. The pellet that Long Fei swallowed was a type of pellet that continued to extend one's life. This pill could temporarily stabilize his life, but Long Fei's body was simply too damaged. He would have to pay a heavy price to save her. Even after 3 whole days had passed, there was still no reaction from the Devil Temple. The Tian Shu-s did not spread the news either. The four of them were all peerless supreme monks. They only had a single breath of life left in their hands. If that was the case, they could be saved. But this time. Long Fei, don't let anything happen to you. God bless me, I am willing to exchange my life for this. Please reward me with all the pain I have suffered. Boss, you'll definitely be fine. Everyone prayed. His heart was still hanging. Inside the Devil Temple, Long Fei's body floated in midair. From all four directions stood the four holy monks, their bodies releasing the light of the Holy Buddha, quietly nurturing Long Fei's body. This brat. He's really giving up his life. My physical body has been destroyed. That kind of cultivation technique is so powerful that he can't withstand it himself. Why did he still try to open it? What are you thinking about? Let's not talk too much. Let's first repair his body first. His life is not stable. In these 3 days, the four holy monks had continuously transferred energy to Long Fei, and the energy of the Holy Buddha poured into Long Fei's body, healing every single part of his body. Even though Long Fei was unconscious, he could clearly feel the injuries in his body recovering bit by bit. Moreover, he could feel a strong power growing within his body. It was the dragon-shaped mark on his arm. The moment Holy Buddha's power entered his body, his arms started to burn as if they were on fire. It seemed like it was also increasing his strength. Within the space ring, the main artifact, the dragon coffin, was trembling even more violently. It was as if he was about to awaken. Time passed bit by bit. After 7 days and 7 nights. Long Fei let out a breath as he slowly opened his eyes. In that moment, his eyes flashed with the light of the Holy Buddha, and his body suddenly moved. One step landed. Buzz. Buzz. The Buddhist light beneath his feet continued to shine, and Long Fei's entire body became light and graceful. Boom. Boom. 2 rays of Holy Buddha light shot out from the gaps between his fists. This feeling. It was as if Long Fei was holding the power of the entire world in his hands. Looking at his hands, Long Fei became excited. What the F***K, so strong, so abnormal strong. My physical body, my strength, my speed. 7 days and 7 nights. He was like someone who had been transformed by an advanced scientific force. Watching Long Fei wake up, 4 holy monks walked out of the darkness. Long Fei immediately said, "Thank you, Senior." The 4 of them did not speak, and only looked at Long Fei seriously. Long Fei was also looking at them. Although he wanted to ask them many questions about himself, he also wanted to know more about their cultivation. Sweeping Monk was strong enough to control time. What about the 4 of them? Just who was it? One must know that the Buddhist sect did not have any particularly powerful forces in the 100,000 planes, nor any particularly powerful powerhouse. Long Fei really wanted to know. However, from start to finish, they did not say a single word. Since they did not say, Long Fei did not ask. However, Long Fei could tell that the 4 of them were not optimistic about him, and did not recognize him. In fact, their eyes were even a little cold. If not for the order from the voice in the darkness, they would have left long ago. 4 holy monks. Long Fei did not surrender their hearts. To make them completely submit. It was very difficult. At least, Long Fei had not been able to do it yet. If it weren't for Mu Wana, the 4 of them wouldn't be here, nor would they waste 1,000 years of effort to save Long Fei, nor would they use their 1,000 years of strength to build a holy Buddhahood for him. Not because of his mother. Long Fei simply did not have the qualifications to receive all of these. For people with over 1,000 years of cultivation. The pure power of the holy Buddhahood. Half a son of God's body. If they were in holy Buddhahood, perhaps someone would say that they were crazy. Seeing that Long Fei had awakened, the 4 figures slowly retreated and disappeared into the darkness. Long Fei grinned and said, "I will firmly remember this favor. There will be a day when I will make you all serve in front of me with 100% respect." Long Fei also felt that they were not optimistic about him. He will change everything. Prove yourself by action. And then, Long Fei walked out with large strides. The voices of the four people sounded out in the darkness. Is it really worth it? Since the Son of God has not appeared, we will use such a profound skill. If the Son of God appears, how will we face it? We have let our holy Buddhahood down. This is what we agreed to do. No matter how much we have to pay, we have to do it. He really isn't qualified. Whether we have the qualifications or not is not important. The most important thing is that we've done one thing, and now there are only two left. Two more things and we'll be able to leave this place. I really miss holy Buddhahood. Chapter 1887, The Power of Transformation. Chapter 1887, The Power of Transformation. Long Fei came out of seclusion once again. Everyone was excited. The hanging heart was finally relieved. How's the investigation going? Destiny God Palace. Zhu Tianmo asked. An elder immediately replied, reporting to Great Elder, we've already investigated thoroughly. That old monk brought Long Fei back to the God Rare sect. Now that Long Fei has come out from closed-door cultivation, he is in perfect condition. Zhu Tianmo was shocked, his eyes turned sinister. Damned thing, your life is really big, you're not dead even like this. Grand Elder, what do we do now? That old monk of the Devil Temple is too powerful, we are simply no match for him. Even Lord Holy General is unable to do anything to him. They did not want to experience that strange scene again. It was too hard. It was as if he was repeatedly being toyed with, but at the same time, it truly happened. It was as if he was being ruthlessly toyed with. He felt scared just thinking about it. It was the same in Zhu Tianmo's heart, but he believed that when the Destiny God sees this, he will definitely think of a way to deal with it. He coldly snorted, what is there to be afraid of? Lord Holy General, you shall be resurrected without end and shall never die. What can he do? The Devil Temple can save him once, if it's like this again, he definitely won't escape. Zhu Tianmo's brows moved, and said lightly, pay close attention to the movements of the God Rare sect, next time you definitely cannot let Long Fei escape. Yes sir. And then Zhu Tianmo entered the secret underground hall within the secret hall. The main body of the 12 holy generals was entangled with 12 females. These females did not die, but instead were trapped in an endless terror. They were the main body. The holy general was just a type of parasite. As long as their fate wheel is not destroyed, the holy general will not die. Zhu Tianmo kneeled on the ground, and said respectfully, Master Fate, this time we failed. The Destiny God statue's eyes twitched, and said coldly, that old monk is from the holy Buddhahood, so you don't have to worry too much after obtaining the time inheritance. The people of holy Buddhahood never kill. Other than that, I have already sent people into the Devil Island. Together, you can attack now, but remember, I want Long Fei alive. Do you understand? I want his soul and fate wheel. Zhu Tianmo immediately replied, this subordinate understands. Master, if Long Fei is caught alive, what you promised me before. Not waiting for him to finish. A strand of power from the god statue directly lifted Zhu Tianmo into the air. Zhu Tianmo's face immediately paled, and his entire body's strength was suppressed, causing him to be unable to move at all. I hate it when people negotiate with me. Zhu Tianmo said with great difficulty, Master, I won't dare to, ever again. Bam! A fierce smash. Fart. Zhu Tianmo spat out a mouthful of blood, he did not dare complain at all, and immediately knelt on the ground while shivering, he was extremely afraid. He didn't even dare to raise his head. Destiny God looked like he was looking coldly at Zhu Tianmo who was kneeling on the ground, and said coldly, do you want to capture Long Fei with your own hands? Zhu Tianmo immediately said, yes, I want to capture him myself and gift him to you. Destiny God gave a faint smile and said, all right, I have a power here. After fusion, you will instantly reach the pinnacle of Venus, and as soon as he finished, the Destiny God surrounded Zhu Tianmo like a strand of energy, pulling his life wheel out. He laughed sinisterly, your life wheel is in my hands now, I grant you with limitless power to revive. From now on, no one can kill you, you will never die. Ah! A painful scream rang out. Zhu Tianmo's eyeballs were about to pop out. However, his entire body was undergoing transformations, as if it was undergoing mutation. His bones swelled up, and his muscles transformed into metallic bones that were attached to his bones. He looked just like a bronze corpse. Zhu Tianmo slowly stood up and looked at his hands. He felt the limitless power within his body, and his sinister gaze seemed to be filled with excitement. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. He laughed arrogantly. Long Fei, just you wait. 1 month from now, I will personally take your life. Main Temple. Destiny God Palace. Destiny God stood with his hands behind his back. Behind him stood a man. Zhong Wushuang. Zhong Wushuang, who already had a body. In 3 years, he had reconstructed his body, a perfect body. Destiny God said lightly, Wushuang, I heard that you will be chosen as the son of God. Zhong Wushuang's eyes flashed with a bright light, and he immediately bowed. Master, no matter what I become, I will never forget the kindness you have shown me. Destiny God smiled lightly and said, all right. That's enough. Ancient holy battlefield doesn't need to go. I have more important things to do for you. As long as you do well, you will definitely be selected as one of the God children. Once you become one of the God children, heh. The Destiny God did not continue speaking. He looked at the endless sky and muttered, this world should have changed, ha ha ha. God rare sect. I am now the master of the Devil Temple, you can all go in and cultivate. There are 100,000 legacies inside, whatever you guys are suitable for cultivation, you don't have to care about all that. No one can stop you. Long Fei said. This was something he had promised. While Long Fei was speaking, the door of the Devil Temple also opened. Everyone looked at the big door of the Devil Temple, they were all stunned. Long Fei smiled lightly, and said, go in, I'll be looking forward to when you all come out. 100,000 inheritances, for Long Fei, would be better than killing a few more monsters and telling him to cultivate inside for a few years. After 10 odd years, he would probably go crazy. The path he walked was different from others. 100,000 inheritances were powerful, but they were not what he wanted. All of you, go in. Long Fei smiled faintly. Bawang Hua said, if we go in, you won't go alone to seek revenge, right? Everyone trembled, and looked at Long Fei. Long Fei said, before I think of a way to deal with Holy General, I won't act rashly. That's more like it. And then, everyone from Bawang Hua walked into the Devil Temple. Long Fei looked at the old monk and said, Senior, you can also go in. Right now, he admired the sweeping monk from the bottom of his heart. The old monk did not answer. Long Fei did not continue asking and walked to the front of the desperate man and said, you can also go in. Desperate man looked at Long Fei and asked, where do you want to go? Long Fei grinned and smiled, you still understand me. I'm going to the remaining 8 great sects. I'm going to devour all of their cultivation techniques. I can't do it, the blasting fist won't kill them. In addition, Long Fei smiled slightly and said, it's about time for me to make a breakthrough. After altering my body for 7 days and 7 nights, it's about time to see just how strong he is. With regards to his current body, Long Fei was filled with anticipation. Chapter 1888 Upgrading. Chapter 1888 Upgrading 7-Star Sect. 7 peaks towered into the sky, corresponding to the Big Dipper in the night sky. The 7-Star Sect got his name from this. The moonlight was like silver as it scattered down onto the ground. The 7-Star Peak was like 7 heaven pillar that corresponded to the sky with incomparable might. What do you think is in the sky? What a big bird. Shoot it down. We have it for supper tonight. Brother, aim for me. At this moment, a disciple said lightly, this bird looks a little familiar, I've seen it somewhere before. Suddenly, the man slapped his thigh and shouted, what kind of bird is this? It's a fucking flying crane. Flying crane? Long Fei. Long Fei, it's Long Fei. Hurry and report to the sect master, Long Fei is here. Immediately, the entire 7-Star sect was in chaos, like a pot of porridge. In just a short half a minute, All the disciples of the Seven Stars Peak had rushed out. Devil Island had too many rumors about Long Fei now. Not die. Indestructible. Control time. The son of the devil. Was a branch of the Destiny God Hall, and they were more clear of Long Fei's terror. When they heard about the flying crane flying over, the Seven Star Sect was so frightened that he immediately sat on the ground and shouted, "Inform the great clan elder of the Destiny God Hall immediately. Quick, quick, quick. Get the great clan elder to send out the holy general. The others, follow me out to meet the enemy." All of a sudden, the Seven Star Peak disciples surged. Long Fei descended from the flying crane and looked at the surrounding disciples of the Seven Star Sect. One of the clan elders bellowed, "Long Fei, what are you doing here?" Long Fei laughed coldly, "Do you know how to pay for it?" The elder's eyes grew sinister as he said, "What account? Our Seven Star Sect has nothing to do with you. What account do we have? You better leave, otherwise, when Holy General arrives, you won't be able to leave." Long Fei laughed, "You must be disciples of the Seven Star Sectess that are chasing and killing me, right? Surrounded and annihilated the God Rare Sect. Are there any disciples of your Seven Star Sect? Tell me, do I have any accounts to settle?" The elder shouted, "Are you involved in this matter?" Long Fei said, "That's right, I am here to cause trouble, and I like to cause trouble. I especially like to settle accounts." An elder suddenly moved. He secretly launched a sneak attack and thrusted his sword at Long Fei. His speed was extremely fast. Under the night sky, it was as if stars were twinkling. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Long Fei stood in place without moving an inch. The long sword was still half a meter away from him, and a Buddhist light automatically emanated from Long Fei's body. The Buddhist light formed a light shield and directly shattered the long sword. The elder was also sent flying. Long Fei's eyes widened as he exclaimed in his heart, "Fuck, an automatic defense system?" He didn't even try to control his own strength. His aura automatically defended him, completely not under his control. If he was in danger, it would automatically spring out. This kind of defense was the real deal. Looks like my body has been perfectly modified. What else is there to be proud of? Long Fei muttered. He rushed forward and clenched his fists tightly, and said, "Come at me, all of you." Buddhist light exploded. Long Fei's body was wrapped in Buddhist light. The Holy Buddha was constantly releasing light from his body, as though his entire body was covered with lightning. He charged into the crowd and crazily crushed everything. This feeling was too refreshing. Rumble. 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 Long Fei did not show the slightest bit of mercy. The way they had chased after the Bawang Hua and the others back then, Long Fei needed 10 times, or even 100 times the usual methods to return them. The slaughter continued crazily. Ding, ding, ding. The system beeps echoed crazily. 2 hours later. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up 7-star sect. There was only one sect master left who was struggling on his last breath. Long Fei, don't kill me, don't kill me. I won't dare to oppose you anymore. I will immediately draw a clear line between myself and the Destiny God's palace. I. The 7-star sect lord was incomparably afraid. Compared to when he was in Xianyang sect, Long Fei was much stronger now. Long Fei smiled slightly. You're regretting it now? Too late. The 7-star sect lord said, Long Fei, you won't have a good ending even if you kill me. Ju Tianmo will not let you go, the Destiny God will not let you go, moreover. You won't be able to kill me, the Destiny God will grant me endless life, I will revive once more. Oh, is that so? Then Laozi will see how you revive. Long Fei sneered, and struck out with a palm. A powerful Buddhist seal was blasted out. The drop of blood on the 7-star sect lord's head fell to the ground. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing 7-star sect lord for obtaining 190,000 experience, 19,000 holy power value, and 1 metamorphic energy value. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 7-star sword. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 7-star sword art. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining. Release your metamorphic energy value. 7-star sword technique. Long Fei did not hesitate to choose sword techniques, because his current goal was to bring up the level increase of the blasting fist. The more powerful the sword technique, the more experience he would have. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 7 stars Sword God. Do you wish to cultivate it? Devour. Long Fei moved. Ding! System notification. Blasting Fist has gained 10,000 experience points. And then Long Fei moved through the air and landed on one of the 7 stars peaks hidden Wu's Peak S, walking into the Kung Fu storage pavilion. He swallowed them one by one. The Blasting Fist's experience points was increasing bit by bit. Blasting Fist, whoever sees it, I don't believe that they won't kill any *T Holy General. Long Fei continued to devour the cultivation techniques of the Kung Fu storage pavilion. He firmly believed that the Blasting Fist could destroy everything in an instant, including gods. However, it had yet to reach that level. 2 days later, in another sect of the 10 sects, blood flowed like a river. Long Fei leveled up one more level, and stepped into the 3rd level of Blackstar Realm. Once again devouring all the cultivation techniques and martial skills in the sect. 3 days later, another sect was destroyed. In just a short span of 1 month, all of 9 major sects had been killed by Long Fei alone, and their levels rose from Blackstar's 1st level to Blackstar's 9th level. Moreover, his Blasting Fist's experience points had reached 99%. He was just a little bit away from leveling up to level 5. Rumble. Inside a secret room in the Destiny Gods Hall. Ha ha ha. Ha ha ha. Zhu Tianmo laughed wildly. Success. Your father has finally succeeded in cultivating it. Ha ha ha. Long Fei, your end is here. He closed up for a month. Zhu Tianmo brought out the power that the Destiny God had given him to the fullest extent of his realm. Infinite revival. Venus Peak Realm. The current Zhu Tianmo could be said to be the #1 existence of the Devil Island. The instant he came out of seclusion, his body was wrapped in a spiral of the Wheel of Destiny, an extremely powerful magic tool used to reap the fate wheel. Chapter 1889, Devil Island's Boundary Point. Chapter 1889, Devil Island's Boundary Point. During this 1 month, Long Fei had not stopped his slaughter. It could be said, aside from the Destiny God Palace, all of the rest of Devil Island had been turned upside down by Long Fei alone. They were all wiped dry. Now, only the Destiny God Palace remained. It was also the strongest power in the Devil Island. Destiny God Palace. Following the loud sound of Zhu Tianmo coming out of seclusion, the Destiny God Palace trembled. Immediately, countless elders from various sects rushed up and rushed into Zhu Tianmo's courtyard. Seeing Zhu Tianmo's appearance, they were all shocked. The King Kong Ironbone was like a dried-up corpse. Her eyes were cold. Every part of his body was emitting the power of destiny, and the spiral fate wheel that could be seen with the naked eye made it impossible for anyone to approach him. The appearance completely changed. Who is this person? Is it the great clan elder? Chow. How did you become such a ghost? Is he a human or a ghost? The 3 clan elders muttered. When they looked up at Zhu Tianmo again, they suddenly felt a chill on their backs. Boom, boom. 3 loud bangs. Did not even move the slightest bit. With just his aura alone, he had instantly killed 3 powerhouse of the Blackstar Peak realm. This power. It was incomparably terrifying. It was also at this time. The expressions of all the elders in the courtyard changed. They immediately knelt on the ground and said in unison, "Welcome out, First Elder. Welcome out, Grand Elder. Welcome out, Grand Elder." His voice was deafening. Zhu Tianmo laughed sinisterly. Woo, 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 woo. Where is Long Fei now? Exiting from seclusion. The first person he wanted to kill was Long Fei. The Destiny God had turned him into this kind of unhuman, ghost or not, all because of Long Fei. He wanted Long Fei to pay the price. One of the elders immediately spoke up. "Great Elder, during the month of your seclusion, Long Fei annihilated the remaining 8 great sects. His cultivation had also reached the 9th stage of the Black Star realm, and, compared to a month ago, his power has become even stronger. Humph. No matter how powerful I am, I won't be as strong as him. Ju Tianmo's lips curled up. He now possessed the same limitless resurrection power as the Holy General, and this alone was enough to cripple Long Fei 10,000 times. Yes, yes, yes. The elder immediately echoed. Ju Tianmo asked, "Where is he now?" "This." He never showed up when the 8 great sects were annihilated, but the God Rare sect is his nest, he should be in the God Rare sect. The elder said. Ju Tianmo laughed coldly, and said, "All right, pass down my orders, gather all the disciples of the Destiny God Palace and bring the Holy General along as well. In an hour, go to God Rare sect." Long Fei, I swear to the heavens, I will not let you escape. All of the elders shouted, "As you command." Long Fei did not return to the God Rare sect. Ba Wanghua and the rest were all training in the Devil Temple. There was no point in him going back alone. After exterminating the 8 great sects, Long Fei went straight towards the east, riding the flying crane all the way to the east. He wanted to see the limit of the Devil Island. He wanted to see if there was really a huge barrier blocking the way. The flying crane flew tens of millions of kilometers every day for 10 days, yet it still did not see the end of the line. Could it be that the Devil Island is a type of spatial shackle? There was no end to it. Is it impossible to find the edge? Long Fei's heart was locked on the inside as he asked, "Uncle Destroyer, do you know where the boundary is?" Desperate Man shook his head, "I have never been in the future." Long Fei looked at him and said, "My mother should have come over, right?" Desperate Man glanced at Long Fei, and after pondering for a moment, he said, "Master had once disappeared for a month on a flying crane, but I don't know where he actually went." "Huh?" Long Fei moved and asked the flying crane, "Divine bird, do you know its boundary?" The flying crane released a sharp cry filled with fear, as if it was afraid. He was this #1 war beast. Fear nothing. But now, he was actually afraid. Long Fei's heart trembled, and he immediately said, "You know where the boundary is, right? And there are powerful creatures guarding the border, right?" The flying crane screamed again. Long Fei muttered, "As expected." And then, Long Fei gently caressed the flying crane's neck and said slightly, "Bring us there." The flying crane slightly trembled. Long Fei continued, "Don't be afraid, I'll take care of everything." The flying crane spread its wings and moved. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, his wings whistled as he increased his speed once again, rushing in another direction. Devil Island was the forsaken god realm. He specially exiled some people who displeased the gods, and some places where some of the stronger families in ancient holy battlefield abandoned some people, such as Wang Tai. He was being tested as a monster by his people. Abandoned. The Devil Island was also like a cage. It was an incomparably large cage. Without a boundary, it was impossible to break through. Since the establishment of Devil Island, only one person had managed to break through the shackles. This person was Flying Goddess and also Long Fei's mother. How did she manage to break through the shackles? Even the Desperate Man did not know. Long Fei was even more clueless. However, Long Fei believed that since his mother could think of a way to leave, she must have also left him a clue and left. "I will definitely leave this place. I will definitely save you. I will definitely trample this world beneath my feet. From now on, no one can hurt you." Long Fei swore again and again in his heart. The separation of the soul. The secret of his mother's disappearance. Hidden secrets of the dragon race. There were many things that had no answer, and he needed to solve them one by one. 3,330,000 years. Who was controlling this catastrophe? Main Temple? They didn't have that kind of strength. Even sovereigns wouldn't be able to control the heavens. Mother's whereabouts. The location of the souls of Jojo and the others. All of this was waiting for Long Fei to solve it. The first step was to break through the limits of Devil Island. Boom, boom. Suddenly, the waves rolled like thunder by his ears. The flying crane could not stop. Long Fei regained his composure, looked into the distance with both eyes, then slowly raised his head and looked upwards. In the end, he looked up with an aghast expression and his voice trembled slightly. This is the border point of the Devil Island. Damn. The heck. 2 enormous statues. Tens of thousands of meters into the clouds. The 2 statues were dressed in armor and wielding axes. One of their palms was pointed in the direction of the Devil Island, indicating for them to stay put. This was secondary. The key point was, this huge statue had a flowing light on its body, which was like flowing water covering its entire body. Long Fei had seen this light before. It was God's light. Chapter 1890 Initiation of Self-Destruct Devices. Chapter 1890 Initiation of Self-Destruct Devices. Gudong. Long Fei swallowed his saliva heavily. His mind, his sea of consciousness and every part of his body was being crushed. Desperate Man was the same. The flying crane swayed non-stop, as if it couldn't hold on for much longer. There were only 2 statues. However, it could create an incomparably huge pressure that prevented people from getting close to it. Long Fei frowned. Is this the border point? Behind the statue, is ancient holy battlefield? Desperate Man immediately said, Young master, don't act recklessly. The flying crane also continuously cried out. Gudong. Long Fei once again swallowed his saliva dry, and lightly said, Since it's here, if you don't act recklessly, how will you know how strong it is? If he didn't submit, he would just do it. Since he was already here, if he didn't give it a try, how would he know? Desperate Man was shocked. She wanted to go forward to pull Long Fei, but Long Fei had already taken a step forward. Young lord, Long Fei said, don't move from here, I'll be right back. Buzz. The power of the 9th stage of the Black Star Realm completely exploded. The body of Long Fei was filled with Buddhist light, and the body of the strong half of the Son of God was forced out. The closer he got, the more uncomfortable he felt. Just like the bottom of the sea, which was tens of thousands of meters deep, he felt as if he was going to explode under the immense pressure. He was getting closer and closer to the statue. All the hairs on Long Fei's body stood on end as he looked at the world behind the sculpture, which was shrouded in a dense fog. That should be the ancient holy battlefield. Ah! Long Fei roared. He exerted all his strength and rushed forward. In front of the huge statue, Long Fei was like a small ant. The waves of the sea rolled and thunder rumbled. There was still a distance of 100 meters between him and the sculpture, causing Long Fei to be unable to withstand it. Poochie. A mouthful of blood sprayed out. However, he did not stop and kept moving forward. At this time, it was as if there was a giant boulder crushing down on his mind, and his heartbeat became much slower. 1 step. 2 steps. 1 more step. Powerful forces stopped him. Clenching his fists tightly, veins bulged all over his body as he growled in a deep voice, No one can stop my steps. Boom. He took another step forward. When he was still 10 meters away from the statue, his body was already dripping with blood. However, he was unable to move forward even a little, because he was stopped by an invisible and colorless force. His hands gently moved forward. Buzz. He touched the barrier. At this moment, the barrier released a beam of light, which quickly spread out. In the blink of an eye, it covered hundreds of millions of kilometers, and in that instant, the entire Devil Island was shaken because of it. The halo of light enveloped the entire Devil Island. What's that? Why is there a light in the sky? What is it? It has never appeared before. What is it? It seems to be a powerful force flying over. Could it be the power of a certain powerhouse? There were discussions everywhere in Devil Island, whether it was warriors or ordinary citizens, all of them were standing on the streets, discussing this phenomenon, because they had never seen it before. God Rare Sect, Devil Temple. The 2 old monks raised their eyes and a trace of fear flashed through their empty eyes. Then, an old monk quickly walked into the Devil Temple. The other person opened the time gate and instantly disappeared from the spot. Grand Elder, why is there a halo in the sky? Could it be that it's Long Fei's doing again? Impossible. Zhu Tianmo also saw the halo of light that appeared in the sky, and his brows furrowed slightly as he said faintly, "It seems to be a barrier, and also seems to be the activation of some sort of formation. Never mind that. Our goal right now is to kill Long Fei." Buzz. The halo shot out from one end and back again from the other. It covered the entire Devil Island. Long Fei could see very clearly that this huge halo of light was like a blue dome of heaven that enveloped the entire Devil Island. Long Fei had watched a United States TV series in his previous life, Under the Dome. That's what it means. However, when the light beam shot back from the other side and landed in front of the two gigantic statues, in that moment, Long Fei's body that was floating in mid-air suddenly dropped down. He was crushed by a powerful force above his head. Boom. Phut. It directly smashed into the surface of the sea and broke all the bones in Long Fei's 4 limbs. The huge waves on the surface of the sea were also instantly crushed away. The sea surface was sinking, not because the water was shallow, but because it was being crushed by a powerful force. Rumble. 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 The entire sky above Devil Island began to emit violent rumbles. The dome was descending. A powerful force was crushing everything. Long Fei climbed up from the sea surface and watched the sky suddenly change as the power of the goddess light that was flowing from the 2 giant statues continued to flow into the barrier. What did I accidentally activated just now? Based on this trend, I'm afraid the Devil Island's self-destruct mechanism was activated. The dome descended. Long Fei was at the furthest point from the dome, so even if it was him, he would not be able to withstand that surge of energy. If the dome were to fall down to this level, everything on Devil Island will be turned into ashes. F***CK. Sovereign, this self-destruct technique of yours is too damn hateful. Long Fei cursed in his heart. Who would have thought that just by touching the barrier lightly, it would become like this? In that instant, the entire Devil Island was in a crisis. But they had not yet sensed that the dome was descending. If they had felt it, the entire Devil Island would have fallen into panic. Life and death were like a river of blood. This move was simply too ruthless. Purify everything. There must be a way. There must be a way to stop the dome from descending. My mother must have come here. She must have touched the barrier. Why didn't she descend then? Long Fei quickly thought about it. And then, Long Fei's heart trembled and thought to himself, it's not that there's no decline, but it's because Mother used some kind of power to stop it. What kind of power? What kind of power is it? Long Fei was a little anxious. Although he hated the Devil Island and wanted to leave the place, there were still over 1 billion commoners living here. Being exiled in a place like this was already very tragic. But now they were all going to die. This was too cruel. Long Fei stared at the 2 gigantic statues, his fists sank, rumble, rumble. His arms released a loud sound, and then started burning red. You are the source of power, then I'll blast the 2 of you to death first. Blasting fist. Chapter 1891, Devil Island is finished. Chapter 1891, Devil Island is finished. Blasting fist. As long as it hit the target, it could instantly kill everything. The sovereign's might on the sculpture was the energy source of the dome. As long as the sculpture was destroyed, the dome would naturally shatter, and even the barrier that sealed the Devil Island would be destroyed along with it. This way, there would be no more restrictions on the Devil Island. Ah! Long Fei roared, all the power in his body converging together. His eyes were locked. With a deep roar, he shouted, blasting fists. His fists moved. He threw his left and right fists towards the 2 statues. 10 streams of light were released from his fists. 50 to 50% of the time, they condensed into 2 streams of supernatural power that rumbled across the sky. Long Fei looked at the 2 streams of light. He was not sure if they could hit his heart. However, as long as he could hit it, he believed that he would definitely be able to destroy it. Yes, we have to hit. Long Fei prayed in his heart. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The power of the blasting fist exploded in midair, striking the dome barrier. It did not pierce through. Long Fei's mind tensed up. Can't we attack? Wasn't Blasting Fist able to instantly kill whoever it locked on? Why not? System, damn you. He cursed in his heart. If there was such an easy way to break through the dome barrier, then his mother would have gone out when she was here. There wouldn't have been any ascension afterwards. Long Fei was also mentally prepared. However, he just couldn't accept it. However, the moment the Blasting Fist struck the dome's barrier pressed down fiercely once again, and the speed of its descent became even faster. Long Fei's body that was in mid-air exploded again. Rumble. He hit the surface of the sea hard and spat out a mouthful of black blood. Long Fei gritted his teeth until it made a cracking sound. If the people on the Devil Island didn't sense the energy descending from the sky at the start, then this time, all the people on the Devil Island felt it. Not just humans. The demon beast in the mountain range did the same as well. They roared crazily, and scattered in all directions, as if something big was about to happen. What's going on? Why is the earth shaking? The sky is pressing down. What happened? Rumble. The ground is sunken, hurry up and dodge. On the street, a huge crater suddenly appeared. Within the mountain range, a volcano erupted and thick smoke billowed. At the seaside, the huge wave that was hundreds of meters high came crashing over. A natural calamity unfolded at this moment, and the entire Devil Island sank into endless turmoil. First Elder, what happened? The entire Devil Island is trembling. I've never done this before. What's going on? The great army of the Destiny God Palace that was rushing to God Rare Sect was affected as well. The sky was pressed down and the earth trembled as a similar aura pervaded the air. Zhu Tianmo frowned and thought in his heart, could it be that the powerhouse God of Destiny that God of Destiny was talking about has arrived? Was it the result of the appearance of the powerhouse? That's not right. The people sent by the God of Destiny will easily enter the Devil Island. They would not make such a big move. Who exactly is it? Zhu Tianmo looked at the sky. With his current cultivation level, he could clearly feel a huge force descending from the sky. It was as if a layer of sky was pressing down on him. And then, Zhu Tianmo moved slightly and said, "You guys stay put. I'll be right back." The power of the Venus Peak realm exploded. Shua. Zhu Tianmo soared into the sky. I would like to see what kind of power the heavens actually possess. Zhu Tianmo was disdainful in his heart, but when he flew to the edge of the dome's barrier, his mind shook. A barrier? What is this? Zhu Tianmo was floating 10 kilometers in the air, and he could feel that barrier pressing down on him bit by bit. His eyes turned sinister. I don't care what you are, the Devil Island is mine. As soon as he finished, Zhu Tianmo's palms moved, and struck out heavily. Rumble. An extremely strong power of destiny was released, and the moment it smashed onto the dome, Zhu Tianmo smiled complacently. Right now, I am invincible in Devil Island. Before he could finish his words, a force shot back from the dome and hit him. Boom. Zhu Tianmo's body fell down from the sky. He landed heavily on the ground and his body split open, turning into a pile of meat paste. Blood splattered all over the ground. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. Great Elder. Great Elder. He died before he could even get to the God Rare Sect, and Zhu Tianmo was beaten into a pile of meat paste. However, at this moment, Zhu Tianmo's body reassembled and revived. He used to feel great about this feeling, but when his body was assembled, the pain was unbearable, and he understood the fear of death in his heart. Grand Elder, what happened just now? A few elders surrounded him. Zhu Tianmo's face was pale, his eyes staring at the sky. He said, Devil Island. It's going to be destroyed. What? Is the Devil Island going to be destroyed? Could it be that the God of Destiny wants to bring us away? Although the Devil Island is not as big as the size of the ancient holy battlefield, it is still bigger than any lower plane of existence. How could it be destroyed? Zhu Tianmo could personally feel the power within the dome. The further the dome descended, the closer the Devil Island got to being destroyed. He didn't explain too much. Because, once he told everyone what he knew, the Destiny God Palace would probably be thrown into chaos. Immediately. Ju Tianmo said, "Wait for me here. I will go to the secret hall and ask God of Destiny. He will definitely give us his answer." His heart was filled with fear. If the Devil Island was destroyed, it would be useless for him to revive, and he would disappear as well. Without waiting for the elders to react, Ju Tianmo immediately turned into a ray of light and returned to the Destiny God Palace. Dozens of stunned elders were left behind. Main Temple. Who activated the Devil Island's self-destruct mechanism? The unusual energy in the Devil Island is getting stronger and stronger. What is going on up there? Why is there still the aura of the Holy Buddhahood's power? What kind of people are on this island? God of Destiny, shouldn't you explain why there is a Destiny God Palace and why there is a person whose life wheel has been peeled off and is being resurrected? The barrier covering the Devil Island was activated, and all the gods inside the main temple felt it immediately, even though this was the forbidden land of the gods. However, the Devil Island was a very special existence. Destiny God smiled slightly. Isn't the activation of the self-destruct mechanism on Devil Island very good? Didn't all of you want the Devil Island to be destroyed? It's fine now, we don't need to do it ourselves. Let them fend for themselves. It's their choice. Ha ha ha. Destiny God started laughing, but in his heart, he was actually extremely excited. Billions of life forms, billions of souls, my soul vault can be completely full. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories,